Welcome to the Next Dimension Podcast, your portal to an extended reality. Every week we talk about the hottest topics in XR and let you join the discussion live on MRTV. And now, get ready for another exciting episode coming up.
Hi and welcome to Season 2, Episode 7 of the Next Dimension Podcast, your podcast that's all about VR and AR. And I'm so looking forward to today's show because we have such an amazing lineup. And I don't even know how to start with, but I know because we're going to start with the lady. Tetiana is back. Tetiana, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much for having me again. I'm excited to be back here.
Oh my goodness, it has been such a long time. First,
Yes.
I was on vacation, then you were on vacation, then I was on vacation again, and now we're here. So looking forward to find out what happened in your life and in general, your thoughts about everything that's going on right now. Tetiana,
Yep.
great to have you back. Also here with us, of course, Gary from Immersed Robot. Gary,
Hello.
how are you doing tonight?
Just as good as always. Thank you very much for having me once again on the show. Pleased to talk about VR once again and AR perhaps.
And
a little
AR.
bit.
Gary, I know that you're actually very excited about AR.
Of course, yeah. Who isn't?
Oh, I think there's quite a lot of people who don't yet, are too excited about AR because they have not yet grasped it, but probably we
Yeah.
can tell them a bit more about it.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy to have Skeeva on the show again. Skeeva, the co-host of Between Realities. Skeeva, how are you doing tonight?
I am fantastic. Thanks for having me on, man. I love the show, and it's so cool to actually be on it. But how are you doing, Sebastian?
Skeeva, I'm so happy to have you on. Wow, it's going to be a great show today. I'm doing really well as well. I just came back from my Spain vacation, as you can tell. I have a little tan, and here was my watch, as you can tell. I do have this, tan line here. And I had a fantastic time, but now I'm really, really happy to be back here on the show, to be back here with you and to talk about virtual reality and, of course, also augmented reality. So, for all of you who don't know yet about this show is being live streamed every Saturday at 9 p.m. Berlin, 8 p.m. London, noon in San Francisco, and 3 p.m. in New York. And this is not only a live stream on MRTV, this is also an audio podcast. So you can listen to this while you are on your commute, for example. And we are everywhere where you can find podcasts. So, for example, on Google Podcasts, Alexa, Spotify, everywhere where you can find podcasts. And if you enjoy this particular podcast, we would be very happy if you would give us a review, if you would review us on iTunes. And to do that, you simply get out your iPhone or iPad, open the podcast app, which is already pre-installed, find the Next Dimension Podcast, and in the best case, you would give us a 5-star review. And that's really the best way to say thank you. Yeah. You can do that right now, actually. That would be fantastic. Other than that, today is going to be a really good episode, in my opinion, because we have some very interesting topics. We are going to talk about Space Pirate Trainer DX. And I know that Skeeva had a very interesting interview yesterday with one of the developers of the game. So Skeeva got all the details that you're hopefully going to share with us. And by the way, for all of you who don't know yet Between Realities, it's Skeeva's podcast. Fantastic podcast. I love it. I also was on that podcast, and I have the link down in the description of this video. So you absolutely also need to subscribe to Between Realities podcast. So looking forward to find out more about Space Pirate Trainer, Skeeva. You know everything right now, right?
All of it, every detail.
Oh, wow, that's so cool. That's really cool. Gary and Tetiana, did you have the chance to play it?
I didn't know, unfortunately. I went to play badminton earlier today with my son, and I thought, why did I not bring my
Oh
Quest?
my God, that
I
was a
reserved a
perfect
court.
chance for you.
I know, it was there. It was right there. And I just forgot. I said to my son when I got there, I said, do you know what I should have bought? And then I went on to explain it. So he was a little bit mad at me as well for forgetting. So, but no, I've not
Right.
yet. I will try it at some point. Yeah, I'm determined to do that.
Right.
Yeah, I've been following the news, but I have actually just got back in the country about a week ago. So I've been
Okay, yeah, right.
overcoming the jet lag and just trying to find my place in my house again. So no, not yet, but it is something that I'm trying to figure out how to do it because yeah, this is something that I think anyone has to find a way to try it just to
I think
experience it.
so. Exactly. Yeah, we're going to talk more about it in a moment. We're also going to talk about Lynx. Lynx is the VR and AR headset actually from a French startup, and they have just announced that they're going to have a Kickstarter in the end of September, and the price for this AR and VR device is going to be $499, and this is kind of exciting. Right, Gary?
Yeah, absolutely, it is. Yeah, there's a lot of details that were disclosed during that live stream as well, and
Exactly.
I was waiting for it. So yeah, we'll get into that as well.
We'll get into that as well. Right. And then, of course, we're going to talk about the Ray-Ban Stories, a new headset, I don't know, new sunglasses, which have some smart functions, smart recording and audio functions. So I'm not sure if you can call it smart glasses, probably not, but definitely interesting. Right, Tetiana, I saw it on your Twitter. You have already ordered it.
You know it.
I know. Yeah,
You did
obviously I'm
too.
following. Yeah. I wanted to, but then I couldn't because I'm in Germany and they're not sending it to Germany. Yep. So you have to review it.
We'll do that. I will do it and I'll report on it in the
Exactly.
Next Dimension podcast.
Perfect. Well, I'm so looking forward to it. And you know already when you're going to get it. You're going to get it before the next episode of the Next Dimension podcast, right?
Actually, yes.
Perfect.
But you're gonna rush me to review it in one day. I mean, obviously, I will. I will take a look at it because I'll be too impatient. I'm probably going to be just sitting in the porch
Right.
drinking coffee, waiting for the mailman to get it. Yeah, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
Okay,
We'll see.
so probably you can give us your first impressions next week. Oh, that would be so cool, by the way. Anyways, we're going to talk about the specs and what we think of it in this episode of the Next Dimension podcast. And then there's also one more little topic, and it's the Matrix Part 4. Oh my goodness. I'm personally looking forward to that so much. I'm such a big fan of The Matrix, and we're going to find out about, what you think about it as well. All right. Before we go to the topics, as always, we are going to talk about our weeks and what we have actually been doing. And let's start with Gary. What did you do, Gary? Did you do anything about VR?
Yeah, so this past week we had the World Update 6 drop for Microsoft Flight Simulator. So I wanted to try this, and I went in. I I tried it on the day it came out, and I was going to make just a quick video about it, but I ran into technical difficulties and I didn't manage to do it in the end. I recorded a video twice. And then I thought I'd managed to salvage something out of that, and then I had rendering glitches and stuff like this, and it was just a constant process of frustration, honestly. So I gave up on that. But basically, I mean, this probably interests you, Sebastian, because part of World Update 6 is that they have included Germany. There's a lot of points of interest which have been handcrafted in Germany, and I've been flying around your home country, Sebastian. So
Okay, cool.
that's what
How do you like it?
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. I will say that one of the highlights, however, was in Switzerland. They've got some incredible scenery there as well. But of course, I love going in whenever they have these new world updates, and we get all of these new handcrafted locations that you can fly over. It's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, it really is, and it's just. I think there are questions of bugs and things like that people have been bringing up, but I'm very much like casual. I'm not like Steve. I'm not VR flight sim guy. I don't dive into it as much as he does. He'll probably be able to talk about the bugs and things like that. For me, I'm just really enjoying it.
It's
fantastic. Yeah,
we're on the same page here. Just enjoying it, seeing how beautiful it is.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's been most of my week, really. I've been going into that a little bit, playing some more No Man's Sky, some more of that update that dropped a couple of weeks ago. And then, of course, I was looking forward to these two announcements on Thursday, which we'll get into on the show.
Yeah, that makes sense. I need to ask you again about that Germany update.
Yeah.
Where did you fly over? Do they have Neuschwanstein, the beautiful castle, the Disney castle,
The,
or?
there's a lot of castles. I
Okay,
went
yeah, we
over,
have
I flew over.
castles.
Yeah, yeah. Is it Schwerin Castle?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah. And
Schwerin,
then
yeah.
there was the Landwasser Viaduct as well. That's a very
Mm.
nice. Oh no, that's in Switzerland. That's the one I was thinking of in Switzerland. Sorry,
Mhm.
but yeah, there's a lot of castles in Germany.
Okay,
That is one
yeah,
thing
we
I did
have.
notice. Yeah,
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's so beautiful that you can actually do that in VR, right? Really feel like you're flying over the country.
it's
Beautiful.
incredible. Yeah, it's
Nice.
fantastic.
Oh, yeah. So this is really a game that we can absolutely recommend to everyone who's in VR, right? Microsoft Flight Simulator is fantastic. Really
Yeah,
good.
yeah, and you don't need to. Again, just to reiterate what has probably already been said many times, you don't need to be a hardcore flight sim fan. I
You're
wasn't.
right. Me
You
neither.
can get in the air really, really easily. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, Gary, who should be next?
Let's go over to Tetiana. You've been away for a while, so let's
Oh yeah.
have a nice catch up.
What did you
I
do in
owe
the
you.
last, I don't know, like 8 weeks or longer? I don't know. It's been a long time.
What have I been doing for those 8 weeks? Good question. I'm trying to recall because there was a lot. And most of the time I was away traveling, seeing my family. It's been amazing because I haven't been able to see them for over 2 years, which probably many of you haven't, because of what's happening in the world. So having a chance to finally see them again, living on the other side of the world, has been great. And I went to Ukraine and I went to Greece. And that was the longest vacation I've had in a very, very long time. One of the things that happened, well, or not happened, I haven't had a lot of access to VR there. I just didn't feel like it would be right to be in virtual reality while I need to be enjoying my reality with my loved ones. But I did try VR on a plane. So,
VR headsets on a plane.
yeah,
The new
that
movie by Tetiana.
so I wasn't a VR flight sim guy. I was like a VR flight gal because I was actually using VR on the real plane. And I just thought it would be fun and interesting to see how that would work. And I've found out some pretty cool things that I even made a video about that because I was curious to see how the tracking would work, whether I would even be able to do anything or if the apps would be blocked. So I watched some Netflix on a plane because I found a way to watch movies there offline.
Oh yeah.
And that was probably the biggest upgrade you can make to your flying experience while flying on the like just the cheapest seats you can get. But you still have your own personal movie theater in VR for 9 hours. That's incredible. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah, right.
that was an interesting kind of experiment that I did.
Great.
Yeah, so that's that. And then when I got back, I guess the biggest news is that I started a new job. I've accepted the position of a community manager at SideQuest.
Congratulations. That is so amazing. How did that happen?
Thank you. Thank you. Well, it was a little bit surreal because I adore this company and I, always thought of them highly as the really great supporters to VR developers who are making VR so much more accessible to users, to developers. And they actually, well, my channel definitely helped with that. So with the Disco VR channel that I've been working for a year, and actually I am celebrating the channel's 1 year anniversary this weekend.
Congratulations. Double congratulations.
Thank you. Yes. So I'm going to have a little live stream tomorrow to just sort of celebrate it a little bit with whoever wants to join. But yes, I would say that this position came to me directly as a result of the work that I put to Disco VR and how I presented it. And working as a community manager for SideQuest is absolutely dream come true.
Wow. This is so amazing. This is really great. And you've been working so hard on your channel, Disco VR, and actually that's also how I found you, right? For this
Yes.
podcast, right? I thought like, wow, this is fantastic. This is such a high production value, and your content is so good and really helpful to lots of people. And yeah, you're so sympathetic, and wow, everything is just a whole package. And yeah, I was just so glad that I found you and asked you, would you like to join this podcast? And you said yes, and I'm sure this is exactly how the people at SideQuest felt when they saw your content.
Well, you're very kind for saying that. I'm really glad that
I mean
those
it.
were
I
your
mean
thoughts.
it.
Yeah, because I do try to increase the quality as much as I can with the resources that I have, because
Yeah.
the Disco VR, I love it with my whole heart, but it's still a very much of a part-time thing for me. At least it was until recently. And I'm for those of you who might not know, I'm also a doctoral student. Yeah, how did that happen?
Oh my goodness.
So there's just
The
a
whole
lot.
package here.
There's a lot happening, but this is just so exciting because you find something that makes you um I don't know, motivated. It excites you and you go for it, even if it's not something that you can see the benefit for short term. Like, I just started Disco VR because I was excited about the technology. I wanted to explore it. I wanted to share what I find about it, and it just turned into such beautiful things in my life that I couldn't even imagine would happen a year ago. So yeah, it's just go for whatever you love, and then opportunities will find you. If you're passionate about this, then it means you're good at it, and yeah, it will pay off. So I don't know, it's been kind of wild, but
I love it. I love it. That's so cool. So, what exactly is the job of a community manager? So, you are now in charge of the social media channels of SideQuest, or?
Y- Yeah, so it's everything that has to do with the communications with the users and the developers, and in the future, collaborations with content creators as
Oh,
well.
perfect. Perfect.
Definitely social media channels. As a surprise, that's not so much of a surprise anymore, but very soon we'll be launching the official SideQuest YouTube channel,
Oh,
and that I'm going
really?
to be running.
Oh,
And there's
wow.
going to be a
You're going to
whole
be
lot of
busy.
Yeah, very busy. It
You
sounds
will
like.
be busy.
well, it's a company channel, right? So it's going to be very content heavy. We are going to also host some live streams and panels. So there's just going to be a lot more engagement with the community now that there's, a person who does just that. So we will try to build some new connections with users, with developers, with content creators. We're just going to put ourselves out there a little bit more to expand the brand.
Thing is
Wow.
with SideQuest as well, it's already sort of integral. It's an integral part of sort of the Quest community anyway. And as time goes on and the Quest becomes more popular, you're going to get more and more developers making games and pushing them over to SideQuest. It's going to blow up. I mean, this is still the very early stages of SideQuest in many ways. Even though it feels
Mhm.
like it's been here forever, it's still it's still early sort of nascent days, and
Mhm.
the amount of content that platform is going to be getting is going to be unbelievable. And yeah, so you got your work cut out, but I'm looking forward to seeing this SideQuest YouTube channel, definitely.
And the team is growing too. They actually still hiring, and yeah, so you can check out their positions on their website, because the team is growing. They are hiring a lot of professionals there right now. There is definitely, yeah, some really exciting things are going to happen very soon.
I liked them before, but now I kind of love them. they they did a good job at hiring you. Really, that was so smart, and I can't
Well,
wait. What's up for them next? Like, what other headsets are they going to support? I mean, we talked about Lynx, and we're going to talk about Lynx today as well, right?
Mhm.
And yeah, who knows what's going to happen? So this is going to be
Yeah.
very interesting, right? So lots of things happened for you. Wow, exciting. Who's next? Is it going to be Skeeva or is it going to be me?
I have never been with Skiva on the show, so I
Perfect.
would
Let's find
like to
out.
know how his week has gone, or
Ex-
month.
yeah, right.
What's up, guys? First
So
of
good to have
all,
you, man.
hey, thanks for having me. I'm super stoked to be here. I love this show. I'm a fan of
Thanks,
every
man.
person on this show, so it's just wild to be hanging out here with you guys.
That's great, man. That's good.
Tetiana, congratulations to you. I'm so excited always to see people with such passion and knowledge about this industry kind of break into it, and I think that's great. I think you're going to be awesome at that job. So congrats.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So as far as what I've been doing, I've just been playing a lot of VR. We've had Between Realities came back from a season break, and we've done 3 shows in about a week's time, which has been great. We've had so much fun re-engaging with our audience again, and just talking about VR and all that stuff. It's been absolutely amazing. I've been playing lots of virtual reality, been playing a lot of space pirate stuff, right? Me and Alex went out and we got a basketball court, and we rented one down the street. It's like $11 for an hour or something, right? And we went out and we kind of ran around and shot each other, and oh my god, that game is better than I thought it was going to be. But I know we're talking about that later, so
Yeah, right.
so very, very exciting. It was super fun. I'm playing, actually, Daniel, German Rifter introduced me to a game, American Truck Simulator, and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna like that, dude. But I went in, and then like I came out like 3 hours later, and I was like, oh my god, I've never been so immersed.
That's so funny, man. So, okay, I only know the game Euro Truck Simulator. So it's the same thing, but with American streets, basically, right?
Right.
For the
Right,
same company.
exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
yeah.
So I went and I did some truck routes in Phoenix where I live, and like driving down the same freeways and stuff, and like I have a wheel, with all the force feedback and all that, and I was just so blown away. I couldn't believe, like, I forgot a few times that I wasn't driving down the freeways in Phoenix. It was wild.
I've played that game as well. I've played American Truck Simulator, and how did you do? Because it's sort of a condensed version, isn't it? Like a condensed version of all these cities and these journeys and stuff. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, it is really immersive. How did you do with the parking, backing it up to the loading bay and things like that?
I tried. So when you those who haven't played this, when you get to your delivery spot, right, you get asked if you want to do like for experience points, you can kind of back it into a docking bay, or you can just kind of pull it over on the side of a building, or you can just say, forget it, I'm done, right? But I tried so many times to back that trailer into the spot, and I haven't been able to do it. Not once, man. So much respect to the people who drive those big rigs with all the trailers on the back. It's just wild. It's so difficult to pull it off.
Same here.
Yeah, I'm terrible at the parking part.
And it feels so immersive, right? To sit in that truck, to sit so much higher than you would normally do, right? As compared to your normal car, right? That's what fascinated me when I tried it for the first time. Like, wow, feels cool.
It was amazing. Like the sense
Right,
of presence was unreal. The shadows
Exactly,
going by and hitting the dashboard, and like driving by the actual police that I drive by in real life, like the Phoenix PD, and like I'll going slow and careful, and like trying not to like hit people switching lanes, and like with this massive trailer on the back. It was just really, really cool. And the haptics and the wheel play a big part of the immersion of the game. And it was incredible because these are the freeways I'm frequenting every day, pretty much, or it used to be every day before lockdown, right? But like it was just weird, man. It was very strange. It was like super immersive, and I really enjoyed it. And that game was just on sale for $5. So
perfect price, really nice.
Yeah.
And Skeeva, you are also working in our favorite VR industry. You got a new job. Tell us more about it, man. I'm excited about it.
Oh, me too, dude. I'm so happy to be working for these guys. So I accepted a position with Vertigo Games in Springboard VR.
Wow, so cool.
Yeah, and it's been absolutely fantastic. The people there are great. Their products are amazing. I get to work with VR arcades all over the world. So I'm constantly in touch with people all over the globe, helping them solve different problems, helping them set up different VR hardware and different games, and working with arcade owners and game developers, and it's been super awesome. And I feel so fortunate to be a part of this, because I really, VR is my obsession. It's all I think about. It's all I want to do. It's almost like a VR sickness in a different way than people might normally associate it, right? Because it's all I want to do. I'm obsessed. But anyway, I'm really enjoying the job and everyone there. So.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
For people who don't know Vertigo, what kind of games have they been making, and what are they doing? Probably not everybody knows.
Sure.
I mean,
So,
we obviously know, but probably not everyone knows.
so they were the developers of Arizona Sunshine, which is one of super popular game. It's been #1 in arcades since its release. It's on Quest, it's on Steam, it's on PlayStation VR, but they also have a lot of other great games. One that's coming out that everyone's excited for, which is After the Fall, right? Which is kind of a post-apocalyptic multiplayer freaky game, which I'm super stoked for.
When is it coming out?
I don't know what you're talking about. No idea.
Okay.
Probably be sometime in the next, who knows, soon.
Yeah, all right, okay.
Sometimes
it's going to come out.
Yes.
Well, congratulations.
Thanks so much.
I still wanted to say congratulations, Skeeva. This is amazing news, and I'm sure you'll do a fantastic job in this division.
Much.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Thanks. Vertigo Games, they were sort of one of the first ones as well. I remember Arizona Sunshine in 2016 when that came out. That was sort of the first big title really in that year that came out for PC VR, and it blew a lot of things out the water. By the way, it was VR Roundtable's Game of the Year in 2016 for anybody who wants to
remember.
see that. So, but yeah, it really was a fantastic game, and it still is a great game. Of course, it's competing more with other more established stuff that's come over the years, but at that time it was almost sort of the standout VR game, and I'm hoping the same thing for After the Fall. I can't wait to play After the Fall too.
I think it's going to be, these guys have a great track record of releasing good stuff. They put out Fisherman's Tale, which was fantastic.
Yeah, loved it too.
And some other titles. But Arizona Sunshine, you go into that on the PC, even these days, and you crank the graphics, and it runs so
beautiful.
Good, and it's so realistic. And it's in Arizona, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
you are in Arizona too.
So it's very immersive. It's like going outside and shooting zombies for me,
And then you can get in a truck and drive around as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
Exactly. But no, it's been great, man. They have a lot of good stuff going on, and they own Springboard VR, which for those that don't know, Springboard is a platform kind of like Steam, but for arcades, right? It's where all the arcades are able to get all of their content. They take care of all the billing and stuff to the developers, because you got to pay developers per minute in an arcade, right? So they kind of handle all that stuff and all the licensing and the distribution of the games, and so I'm working with all of the latest and greatest amazing titles as well. It's just fantastic. I'm super stoked to be there.
Perfect. It's so great to see that more and more people that we know and like here from our community are getting to work in this industry, in our industry. It's amazing. I'm loving it. I'm just so happy to hear that from you, Skeeva, and from you, Tetiana, that you're working in our favorite industries. And we're just going to stick around and live our dreams working in that amazing industry. Fantastic. Gary, now it's you. To get into a VR job.
I like a nice hobby, and this is my hobby, so
that's perfect as well. That's great as well. Alrighty, So I think you finished with your week, Skeeva?
Yeah, I think so. We'll get into some of the like Space Pirate stuff.
Right. What you did exactly.
Exactly. It was a great week.
Okay, perfect. Right. So
what about you? What about you, Sebastian?
I was surfing, and I was lying in the sun, and I was having lots of amazing food and drinks. I was on this kind of all-inclusive holidays in Spain that we Germans love to do. So yeah, I had a fantastic time with my family. We needed some time off. We all got our second vaccination like more than 3 weeks ago. So it was just about time to leave Germany because we have been stuck in our home for the last 1.5 years, just like all of you, right? And then we simply needed to get out, and that's exactly what we did. So we went to Fuerteventura, which is a Spanish island off the African coast. Amazing weather, amazing beach, amazing everything, and it was just so good. And I was thinking before I went there, should I bring my Oculus Quest 2 and probably put it on sometimes and check it out and check out the latest stuff and probably make some content or what? And I thought, no, absolutely no. I mean, I'm always in virtual reality. I'm always checking out everything. But I thought, you know what? I need to spend some time, some quality time with my family, and that's exactly what I did. I did absolutely nothing about virtual reality. I was so in reality, it was incredible. Really, like going into the ocean every single day and sunbathing and surfing, and simply had an amazing time with my family, quality time, and I so enjoyed it. Also, as I mentioned on the show here before, I'm currently trying to acquire my fourth language, Spanish, and it was fantastic to really use it for the first time. So, hola a todos, me llamo Sebastian y soy alemán y aprendo español por diversión. There was just some Spanish. So I was able to use it there for the first time, the Spanish that I'm right now studying, and it was fantastic. Yep. So no VR at all, but now I'm really, really happy also to be back. So 10 days of complete relaxation were great, but I feel it now. I feel like, the drive again to put out some amazing content, and I'm here with you now, and that's exactly what we're going to do now. So
you got your VR detox basically.
Oh
for
yeah,
that 1 week.
exactly.
Yeah.
I got totally detoxed, and actually now I'm super excited now. I'm super excited now to get back into VR with you and to talk about all the topics. Exactly.
Yeah, I feel the same because it's been way longer for me, even though I did take my quest and I did put just a few videos, but most of the videos that we're posting while I was away were scheduled. So
Me
I put a
too.
lot
Same
of work
with me.
beforehand.
Same
I
here.
did, I maybe made 2 in a month and a half, but yeah, definitely ready to get back to work.
Right. Same like me. So I also did make videos before I went there. So there were still like 3 or 4 videos from me. But now I'm back live, and just as you, Tetiana, we're back. And we're ready
I got too excited here. So.
You got too excited. And right, let's start. Let's start with a small topic here. Let's start with The Matrix 4. So Matrix, obviously one of the movies talking about virtual reality, right? I think everyone has watched the movies. I loved the first movie. Second and third, like, completely disappointed me, but like most of people disappointed. And now the fourth movie is out. It's going to be out soon, and the trailer has been out. So I just want to ask into this round, are you excited about Matrix 4? Did you watch the trailer, and what did you think about it? Let's start with Tetiana.
Yes. Everything to everything you just said. I watched the trailer. I'm super excited. It gave me like goosebumps when I was watching
Same
it.
here.
It was really confusing, but it's kind of funny how confusing thing can really excite you, even though you don't understand what's going to happen. Is it going
Right.
to be a prequel? Is it going to be a sequel? Is it going to jump in time back and forth? But all I could see is that John Wick reincarnation into Neo. It's so weird to see
you're
him
right.
now as a Neo again. His long hair is
Right.
just so iconic now that to see the John Wick image as Neo is something gets like cognitive dissonance in my head. So yeah, that's just something that I've noticed. But yeah, super excited about that. Looking forward to the Christmas gift.
Oh, yes. It's going to launch on the 22nd of December. And definitely, that is also my Christmas gift. How about you, Skeeva? Is that a movie that can excite you or that excited you when it first came out?
Man, dude, I love The Matrix. I really do. That movie was like a religious experience to me.
Same here, man. Exactly like
Yeah.
that.
I
Exactly like that.
remember when that movie was coming out, and like all the hype around that movie was what is The Matrix? Like I don't know if you remember the ad campaigns,
Exactly.
but at that point in time, Nick Bostrom's simulation theory paper hadn't come out yet. There were very few things that actually seriously considered simulation theory to be a thing. That it was such a new concept. There were books and there were a few things beforehand that explored this topic, like Philip K. Dick always did. But this was the first mainstream, high budget, really amazing thing that showed us that it's very possible that that's one of the things that could be going on with life, right? That we could be in some kind of a computer simulation. So it was really, really cool. The actors were great. The special effects were amazing.
Unbelievable for that time.
Yeah. Oh, it was just unreal. We had never seen anything like that before in movies, right? Where like the action paused still and it kind of camera went around them, and it was just so cool, man. And I'm very excited for this new iteration. Now, just like you guys, I was kind of disappointed in The Matrix 2 and 3, but I didn't see how they could possibly surpass the hype of the original movie, because most of the hype was what is The Matrix to begin with, right? So it's going to be interesting. I thought it was also really interesting, like Tetiana was saying, that that Neo is very much John Wick now. And I think I think that's probably because John Wick 4 is being filmed, or was being filmed, like right at the same time, I think is what happened. But I like that look on Keanu. I think it's awesome. It's also very cyberpunk, when he debuted in that game. But I'm stoked, man. I'm gonna be there watching this movie the second it releases. I'm not expecting it to be as good as the first one. I don't know that you can really improve on perfection, but I really do want to know where's Morpheus, because it looks like they recast him. And I don't know. I've read some weird things, and the actor said he wasn't invited, and I'm curious because I don't know. Morpheus is such an iconic character to me, and I think to a lot of people. So it'll be interesting to see what the reason is story-wise, why this happened, or if it's all a sham and he's going to be in there anyway. So we'll see.
We'll see.
You think he would be there and they wouldn't even include him in the trailer to keep the suspense? You think that's all the game?
So,
I would love that.
Could be. Who knows?
That would be such a surprise, though.
Especially if it was like a fake interview where he said, "Yeah, I wasn't invited."
Yeah.
And then he's in it. Wouldn't that be something?
That would be
amazing. Yeah.
Gary, what are your thoughts about The Matrix? And did you enjoy it when it first came out, 1999? 1999.
I know, it's unbelievable.
Oh my God.
It really is.
Is that a real year?
That is a real year.
I liked it when I first saw it. Honestly, it's grown on me more and more to the point now where it is one of my favorite movies ever. And it's not even, you see, all of this stuff when it first came out, I thought it was a fantastic film when I first saw it, based on like the stunts and the camera angles and all of this new special effects they were using. But to me, it's not even about and we spoke about this before, so I'm going to be repeating myself a little bit from our discussion before the show. We couldn't resist talking about this. But the part of it is, it's not even about like this simulation side of it, which I think is great. I love that, and that would have won me over to make it a fantastic film anyway to me. But it's this other side, which this hook that keeps you involved in this film all the way through. This first film is he or isn't he the one? And the build up to that and the payoff at the end of that film can't be replicated. And that's why, to me, the second and third films just fell really flat honestly. I thought they did some interesting things in there, but part of me can't even remember them because I've only seen them a couple of times and probably not for about 15 years now or something. I don't know last time I saw them, so I can't remember a lot about them. All I know is that first movie as a standalone film on its own still remains one of my favourite movies to this day. And I'm sort of with Skeeva. I don't see how The Matrix 4 can really top that because we've had that payoff now, as I said, and I don't think it can invoke those feelings again, unfortunately. The trailer itself, it looks interesting, and they're doing very many of the same things that they did in that first film. In fact, in some respects, it almost looks like a reboot in some sections where they're retreading over the old, the whole thing of that original movie again in some aspects. Yeah, it's confusing because Neo's obviously older now. Trinity doesn't seem to know him, and all of these different things. So we've got to wait and see. But yeah, I'll be honest, I wasn't completely blown away by that trailer, but of course I'm going to watch it and I'm going to enjoy it, I'm sure.
Of course. Yeah, I must say I'm a huge fan of not only The Matrix, but Keanu Reeves as well. So, yeah, whatever movie Keanu Reeves is in, I simply love it. I must admit it. Even the B movies, when the movies are absolutely trash, but he's there, like me and my wife totally enjoy it just to see this guy.
Borderline obsession.
Yeah, it is a kind of it's kind of obsession.
Did you see the newest Bill and Ted movie? Because
right.
That one kind of fell pretty flat. That was pretty bad.
Although I do have a few actors like that. Like as long as that person is in the movie.
For me, it's okay. For me, it's like, okay, this is going to be great. But I must say, for The Matrix 2 and 3, when I went into the movie theater, I was so disappointed because, well, my expectations were so high. And I can remember, I was like the biggest Matrix fans. I went into the movie with shades, like trying to look a bit like Neo myself. and I was so disappointed. But anyway, so for the fourth part, I think they want to make up for the second and third part. I'm pretty sure they are going to be better than the second and third part, and it's just going to be so great to see Trinity and Neo back in the movie. And agreed, it seems like that Neo is in that, probably the Matrix. We don't know if he's really in the Matrix or what, and he doesn't seem to know that he's in the Matrix, and he's looking into the mirror and he's not exactly sure what's happening, and that's going to be so interesting. Also, I'm sure that you're aware of the fact that for the movies, whenever it had this green tint, they were in the Matrix, and whenever it was kind of bluish, they were in the real life, right? And for this this trailer, both green and blues are kind of united, and also bluish, and you're not sure what is happening right now. Is it now the Matrix or is it the reality? And also for the whole Matrix, the picture, the picture of the Matrix or that logo, it is green and blue together. If you look at it, it looks beautiful actually. And so probably there's going to be some mixes between Matrix and reality, and we don't know what's going to happen. So I am so excited and I'm so thrilled, and definitely 22nd of December I'll be in that movie theater. But unfortunately, it seems it's going to be dubbed in German language here in Germany. Yeah, so probably I'm not sure if they will show the original version, but obviously I want to watch the original version, not the dubbed German version. yeah, right. Exactly. So
maybe you should go to like England or to
exactly.
there.
I could absolutely do that actually. Yeah, I could fly to London. That's a good idea.
Yeah, we'll meet up, Sebastian. Let's do that.
That would be a great.
You're
that
gonna
would
have
be
like
such a good idea.
Movie day.
We'll go and watch. Yeah, we'll go and see Matrix 4. Perfect.
That would be so. That's such a good idea. From Leicester to London, how long do you need to?
It's about 2 hours. About 2 hours I can get down there.
Let's think.
I'll probably need to know in advance.
Yeah, we need to know in advance. Absolutely.
I regret that I gave this idea now because I feel left out.
Well, Tetiana, we'll meet up in Green. We'll watch it together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what's in the middle between Arizona and Texas?
New Mexico.
Oh, okay. That sounds really
Lots of desert.
Okay, there must be some movie theater somewhere.
Yeah, big screen.
Right. Oh, that would be That would be nice. They should actually also
Yeah.
they should absolutely stream it in big screen virtual reality, right?
That'd be
Yeah, I think that
sweet.
would be stupid if they don't.
Yeah,
Honestly, like this
exactly.
is the perfect place and environment to watch it. Yep, I'm going to look into that. I think it
Well,
should be there.
if it comes out on one of the streaming services as well as in theaters, then you can stream your PC through big
Oh,
screen.
you're
So we
right.
could
Yeah.
totally
Right.
have a
But
showing for
would
some
they
people.
do it? Would they do it, or would they just bring it to the movies first? I believe.
It's a good
or not?
question. I think it depends on like what the numbers are looking like, what
Right.
the genre is,
Exactly.
and all
Right.
that
Right.
stuff. Because December's still a little ways away, you know. So we'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah. Probably until then, it's gonna be better. Hopefully.
Mhm.
Roar make repellent. British English dub version. Jolly good. Knee on my chap.
That's exactly what we say over here.
Yeah, exactly. That is so funny. Yeah, I suppose they're not going to dub the American English version in the UK. Yeah, but in Germany, actually, all the movies are being dubbed into German language. That's pretty interesting. Okay. So that's the Matrix 4. Do let us know in the chat if you're going to watch it. Yeah, probably you will, right? And also do let us know in the comment section if you're thrilled about part 4, or if you're excited about part 4. Right. Okay, so now let's go to our first VR topic here. And that is the following. It is VR Learns to Sprint with Space Pirate Trainer. So for all of you who have not yet heard about Space Pirate Trainer, it got a free update, completely free update. And with that free update, actually what you can do, you can set up a 10 by 10 meters space, and actually you can have some location-based virtual reality for yourself. You don't even need to go to an arcade. You simply go there. You go there alone, or you go there with a friend, and you play some location-based Space Pirate Trainer. As in, you move with your body, with your actual body, with your feet, and I can just say I am so excited to try it out. So I'm back now here in Germany. I'm going to try it out tomorrow with a friend, and we actually, we rented a big space, like a sports hall, like a badminton hall or whatever, or a basketball place, and then we're going to play it there for the first time, and I can't wait to try it out. So, what are your feelings about Space Pirate Trainer DX, the new version? Tetiana, what are your thoughts about it?
Well, I've unfortunately I haven't tried to yet, but I have tried a location-based VR before when I
Yeah.
was invited to Zero Latency in Houston. They had a huge
Oh, love it.
place there for when you can run around, pretty much like that. You have this huge space where you can run around with up to 8 friends, playing some cool VR shooters. And I tried Far Cry, and it was really a huge difference. I've never tried a location-based VR before, and I think it's a fantastic idea because you don't get any cyber sickness with that. You don't need to get used to the moving with your thumbsticks, so you're actually there. It adds so much to the immersiveness, and playing with friends is always so much fun, especially when they're right there. With the Space Pirate Arena, you won't need to have this backpack. While if you go to other places like Zero Latency, you would need to have like a computer carrying it with you all the time as a backpack. It's not too bad, but I would always prefer not to have it. Right. So when it comes to the like tiny Quest, that is the only thing that you need. So I imagine that be super. But at the same time, it's like you said, you have to rent space. So I don't know how much that can cost. I haven't looked into it. I don't know how expensive or how cheap that is, but it is something that's on the users to figure out how to do it. And I know that not everybody's happy about it because it seems like it's targeting a completely different groups of users who liked Space Pirate Trainer in the first place. And I've been reading some pretty hateful comments about it because
that's so. Yeah, we're going to talk about this as well.
yeah, we will.
Oh my
I
god!
might not get into that, but yes,
in a
we will
moment
talk
we
about
will.
it. But
God.
okay, so to shorten my answer, I would love to try it. But because of this constraint, I guess, I don't know if this will be to-go game, if many people will be able to afford it as a to-go game that they go and play every day or every week. This is just, yeah, people will need to figure out how it even works for them. I haven't yet, but I need to.
Right, right. And yeah, well, right, you have to find your playing space, and probably you can also find something for free, like, I don't know, some public place, or I don't know, some schoolyard or whatever. I think it must be, it should be possible. Like we're going to rent this space from a school. It's going to cost us like 15 euro per hour, which I think is reasonable for being able to play 1 hour. If you go to an arcade, if you want to play this kind of game, it's like probably for 10 minutes you pay like 50 euros or US dollars, right? And you can play that. Oh my God, I think it's reasonable. Anyways, Gary, what are your thoughts about Spacebar Trainer?
Yeah, well, similar to Tetiana, actually. I played in zero latency. There's a zero latency place not far from where I live, and my wife bought me that a while ago. It was during the first lockdown, actually, and we couldn't go. It had to be postponed. But when I actually got there, that's the only really sort of location-based VR thing that I've done. And like Tetiana said, this thing where you have to wear this PC on your back, you've got all of this extra equipment, you've got these headphones that are separate from the headset. Part of me, while I was playing it, was just thinking, I wish they'd just transition over to a Quest, because a lot of what I saw in there didn't really need all of that processing power. So it blew my mind that they were still using something like that, honestly. But it was a great experience nevertheless. I really had a great time. And just moving around in that real way is, it's like the original, going back to room scale, when we first got our Vives back in 2016 or whatever, you had this room scale concept, and everybody was focused around this initially. In fact, they were so focused that Oculus had to change their original direction with the Rift in order to make it room scale, because everybody was talking about room scale back then. And of course, that's on a smaller scale to this. But there's something about being in and using the space that you're in and walking around and using it in a virtual reality way, in a virtual reality environment, which is that next level of immersion. So I've experienced that, and I can't wait to experience Space Pirate Trainer with regards to that. The counter side to that, I would say, I think this is an incredible experience. It's going to be an incredible experience when I try it. The counter side, I could understand as being something like, I've spoken to people where they are in small, they're in small apartments or something like that. They use virtual reality as a way to escape and see these incredible vistas from the relatively small confines of where they live and where they reside. And I can understand that, but there's plenty of experiences already for that. So let this have its place, I'd say. I think Space Pirate Trainer, having this extra mode in there, it's only a benefit, and it's a new way of playing VR for everybody that don't need these huge location-based systems. So, yeah, I'm all for it. I definitely will be trying it. I'm going to find somewhere to try it soon.
Great. Did you buy it already, or did you already own it?
Yeah, I've already got it on Quest anyway. So, yeah, it's one of the first titles.
Going to get it.
It's a staple. It's a staple VR title.
You're right.
Should own it for the Quest.
It's one of the classics also.
It is.
One of the classic games. It's really cool. Great. So, Skeeva, you talked with the developer, I believe it was, right, in your podcast yesterday. So,
yep.
Well, obviously everybody should watch that episode. Again, the link is down in the description of this video. But tell us everything you learned now.
So I'll tell you, man. So this game, first of all, let me start out by saying that me and Alex, the co-host of Between Realities, we did go out and we rented a basketball court for an hour, and it was just over $10. So it was pretty reasonable just to go out there and be able to run around and play this game. And I'll tell you, man, it was absolutely unreal. It was unreal. The way this game looks and how it plays on a Quest, like the textures they used, everything they did looked so incredible. It looked so sharp and clean. Everything worked so well. Both of us were blown away.
Wow.
I know there's an issue with space. 10 meters by 10 meters or 32 feet by 32 feet here in the United States is it's kind of hard to come by. People don't have that in their homes. And if you do, you probably have enough to afford a backpack PC and a full, LBE experience as it is, right?
Right.
But I'll tell you, these guys didn't just include Arena in this update, right? So they also included stuff for everyone. They now have Space Pirate Trainer Versus mode, right? Where it's the standard setup where you get to play with your friends. But like when you shoot a drone, then 2 drones go over to them and you're kind of messing each other up and yelling at each other. So that's pretty cool too, right? So not only is there this Arena update, which people are, some people get a little angry with because they can't come up with that kind of space and they're not in a place where they can find something like that, right? But there is also this other versus mode. I just wanted to bring that up because it seems like it's a strange thing to complain about when we're getting all of this different kind of content strapped onto the game for free. You're not even gonna pay for it. Like, that's insane. Like, these guys have spent so much time developing both of these modes, and to not even ask anything extra of it, I think is absolutely incredible. Whether you can use the Arena mode or not, I will say that I think it makes it even more special that you can't just hop into this every day. So when you do go out there and you play with friends and you're running around, it's a super special experience because it's not common, even though you own the game. And it was great, man. It was absolutely great to actually be able to run. You know what I mean? Not just kind of, so I've done zero latency. I've done the void. So I've done a few location-based experiences. And while they were very good and very immersive and they had great hand tracking and, there's people in there to assist that aren't in a headset. So if you reach out and grab a torch, someone's actually handing you a torch, right? So there's really cool things for those experiences. But this is like, it's just you and your buddy and you can book it. If you try to run in one of those other experiences, they're going to tell you to slow your roll, right? Because they don't want you falling over with equipment, having insurance claims, breaking their stuff. This is like no holds barred, run around, go nuts, do whatever you're going to do. I will tell you that I did punch Alex in the face pretty hard during the game.
Probably deserved it
on purpose.
Yeah, right. Probably deserved it.
He did deserve it. He killed me in the game. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, I was dead. I just punched him in the face. It's not that bad.
Okay.
But so
it's not even hiding it.
When you die in this game, it can't just spawn you in a different place in the map because the map is the size of your play space. So you have to walk or run to a spawn point, and each spawn point can only be used one time. So if you happen to die by one of the spawn points you've already been at, you got to make it all the way across to the other map, to the other spawn point on the map in a given amount of time, or you lose another life. So I noticed that the spawn point was across the other side of the map, and I booked it, right? And during the time when you're dead, you can't always see where the other player is because it'll give away their position, right? Not until you get very close to them physically will it throw up a barrier saying warning with all these big red things. But I was running. I was booking it for the spawn point, and I just barreled right through Alex. And I'm not a little guy. I'm a very big dude. So yeah, it took a few minutes of recovery, but luckily he was okay. I didn't break his face or anything, which is good.
Just on that point, Skeeva, did you at any point, like, regardless of that side, regardless of the other player, did you ever get nervous that maybe that something had gone wrong, it had drifted slightly or anything like that? Or was it completely rock solid? There was never any of that concern at all?
So there was always a concern, right? Because I'm strapping something over my eyeballs and I'm having faith that I'm not about to run into a wall, right? So there was obviously a little bit of hesitation, especially at first. And the first few games, I didn't really run. I was very careful walking around because my body was telling me, dude, you're in VR all the time. You can't run. This isn't what you're supposed to do, So I had to kind of retrain my thought process. No, it's okay. This is a big open space. There's nothing on the court. There's no balls anywhere. Everything is completely open. But still, there's this paranoia that you're gonna run into something, So especially after I ran into Alex that one time, which was my own fault because I was so in it that I just didn't even notice the red warning thing pop up. Right, I was just trying to get to that spawn point, but especially after that, I did kind of peek through my nose hole a little bit while trying to get to the spawn points. But after a little bit, we both loosened up and we really started moving more with our bodies and really sprinting a bit more. And it was it was really one of the best VR experiences I think I've ever had. And that's a big thing to say because I've tried.
That is a big deal, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and it was absolutely gorgeous. I will tell you this: you look around at a 30-foot or a 10-meter by 10-meter spot when you're mapping this whole thing out, and you're like, "Wow, this is so much room." Right, but then you get in the experience, and that room is now full of walls and obstacles and barriers. So that 10 by 10-meter space now seems very small, which is pretty wild because it's full of stuff.
Skeeva, is it just 10 by 10 or can you make it like more custom, like 9?
You can't, because that is the max guardian space of the quest itself. So it's a limitation of the quest. But we did talk to the developers about that, and we asked, because we do know that the quest has the capability, apparently, technically, of doing guardians up to like 120 meters or something like that, a really big space where they say it could do this, right? So as they said that as Oculus expands their guardian system, they will absolutely be expanding the play space in the game to utilize more and more space. So I think that'll be great, because right now that 10 by 10 spot is about half of a basketball court. It would be great to have like the whole thing to run around, or like a whole like football field even, right? That would be insane.
Did you even feel that the 10 by 10 meters is probably too small?
I'll tell you, I originally thought that maybe this game, while we were waiting for it, would be more like 4 players. But now seeing how much stuff they cram into this 10 by 10 spot, there is no way that would have been fun, right? Because someone would have always been shooting at you. You wouldn't, it would have been very hard to hide. So I think it's a great play space for 2 people, but I think it could benefit definitely from a larger space, because the more you can run around and the more you can hide behind things, and the more you can kind of try to conceal where you are, the more fun it is, and you got that special charge shot where it bounces off all the walls. And, I killed Alex a few times just by bouncing it off the general direction where he was at, and it actually hit him and killed him, which was really, really cool. Plus, you have the shield, which you can pop up, and it lasts for a couple hits, or a time limit where the power shield kind of goes away real quick. But I'm, like I said, I'm a very tall guy. I'm 6'7", which I don't know what that is in meters, but that's really tall, right? And Alex is kind of a normal sized guy, but your shield doesn't scale. So for me, I'm kind of blocking myself, but my whole bottom torso and my legs are exposed. So he kept shooting my legs and killing me. So he had a little bit of an advantage with the shield, but at the same time, not all the walls go all the way up. And I was actually able to get on my tippy toes, look over some of the walls, and put the gun up.
What?
That's cool. Yeah.
Is it meant to be like this, that you can peek over the walls? Okay,
I think so. Because they are specifically not. Some of them don't hit the ceiling, so you could jump up, but I'm a pretty tall guy, so I can really max myself out and kind of shoot over the walls. So where I have a little bit of an advantage like that, but then again, I don't have an advantage when I'm not under complete cover, because my shield doesn't cover as much as my body, because it does give you your actual height in game. So you could see my avatar's height compared to Alex's, which was really cool and very, very immersive. I mean, the whole thing was just one of the most immersive experiences I've ever had. We did have to recalibrate, I think, once, maybe twice during our hour. The gym wasn't super well lit, right? The basketball court, I feel like there could have been more light, which probably would have helped the tracking perform better. But this was a quest thing. This wasn't a thing with the game. This was like Alex had the problem most of the time where his quest lost tracking. a little bit. And I think one of the best ways to have a really good experience with this is to make sure you have like a microfiber cloth or something, and make sure you really clean your lenses off, not your lenses inside, but the camera lenses itself, because when tracking that much space, it really has to look for things to grab onto, because there isn't a wall right there and a border right there. So the Quest has a little bit harder of a time, but just make sure those cameras are really clean. I did clean mine beforehand, and I didn't have any problems with the tracking going off. But it was an incredible experience, and we were both dripping sweat afterwards. We got some serious exercise that day.
Oh, that's good.
So,
I also need that now after the vacation.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it now. I'm really going to look for some places around me to do that.
It is
You
worth
really
it.
hyped it up. Yeah, you guys
It
hyped
is
it up so much.
super, super worth it. I am telling you, man, this is just a different level of VR. It is hands down. I think you will suddenly see an entire new future for virtual reality. And Gary, from what you were saying, how when you were in some of those location-based experiences, how you couldn't believe they weren't using Quests, right?
Yeah,
I think a lot of places really want to use Quests, but because of the Oculus terms of service, they're not allowed to.
yeah.
And I get that question all the time working at Springboard, right? By companies, hey, we want to set up all these Quests, and it's like Oculus says no. Facebook says you can't do it. Sorry, it's not something we can control. This is a limitation of the licensing of Oculus and Facebook, which is too bad,
Right.
because that's a whole
It
other
is.
market they need to break into.
Well, but
Yeah.
there are other headsets, right? Like the Pico Neo 3, who can now do it. So I know that
Yeah.
arcades are picking this one up. So this is probably another chance for Pico,
Yeah.
now owned
But-
by TikTok, to do something about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
But another thing that
Yeah, right,
could
yeah.
make this experience even more exciting is that, like, what you're saying is the map is designed to be 10 by 10. So there are walls, right? There are actual walls. You can't step outside of the area. When I was at Zero Latency, the game I was playing with Far Cry, it still had this open space. So I was still very much afraid to run too far, because you can physically run outside of the gaming area and like hit the wall, because there's no wall in VR. But
Right.
with Space Pirate, it looks like you don't even have the reason to go outside of
So-
that play area,
So
so you
not
can be
all
completely
of
free.
the areas actually have outside walls. Some of them drop right off a cliff, which is very interesting, but they're right at the edge of the Guardian. So if you step out, you're going to get your pass through. One of the other things that's interesting is if you accidentally step into a wall or out of the play space, it puts you in this weird void, and you have to go back to where it was that you went out of the playable area. That way players aren't running through walls to cheat and get people on the other side. They made it so it's a lot harder to cheat in that aspect. And if you do get outside of the boundary, you definitely know it, because the game pulls you out of the experience almost completely, which is a little immersion breaking, honestly. But I feel like as for the competitiveness of the game, I think it's a must. So
Okay, great. Skeeva, tell us a bit more about the setup. How does it work? Like setting up your 10 by 10 meter space, is it exactly the same as we know from the small space? And then the other question that I have for you is, how does it work with two people? If you play together with somebody else and he has to map out the same space, does the game know the directions, or is it like both calibrated towards the same north? Let's say, call it like this, because if not, then you're probably going to run into each other.
And this is a very real thing. And when we first set this up, we didn't really try our hardest, let's say, to really get everything completely configured correctly. And we noticed our avatars were way off, and we would have ran into each other. So it's super important to really make sure that you get your space right and you take the calibration seriously. So you do want to try to map the exact same spot that your friend does. So if you're at a basketball court or something, it's a little easier, because there's a lot of ones all over the floor, and you can kind of follow the same ones. Same with tennis courts and things like that. But you definitely want to try to do that. Now, after you get into the calibration, it puts a center point in the middle of the play area. You need to go to that center point. You need to face the same wall that your friend's going to face, and you need to calibrate it that way. And if you first you do it, and then your friend does the same thing from the same center point facing the same wall, and then your avatars will meet up perfectly, and you can walk over and kind of, hit each other's hands and stuff and
Shake
make
hands,
sure
yeah,
that you're
right.
good. But definitely make sure you did the calibration right, because if two people are running full force with VR headsets on and you collide,
Yeah, you don't
not
want
a
to do
good
that.
thing. Not a good thing,
Right.
folks. Yeah.
Okay.
So that you were talking about location, like local multiplayer, right? So the two people are in the same place.
Yes.
Can you play the online
Yes.
multiplayer? Can
You
you
can.
calibrate it in the way that they have the
Yep.
same map, same positions, and then you're not even running into each other? So
Yes.
you don't even have to have a friend who has quests. You can just
Right.
connect with someone online as
Well,
long as you're
they do
calibrated
have to
well.
be a friend, so there's no random matchups. But if you have a friend across the country,
Mhm.
across the world, wherever, you can both get your own 10 by 10 meter space, and you can meet
Oh,
up
that's so good.
exactly like you would be co-location. But then there's no worries at all of running into anybody. So that
Oh,
would
that's so
almost
good.
be better, right? And you do have the voice chat. It's all proximity based. When you charge your weapon, the other player can hear it, depending on how loud it is depending on how close together you are. When you
That's so
put up
cool.
your shield, it makes an electrical noise, which the other player can hear if they're close enough. So yeah, you could definitely do this without being co-located, and I would almost say that it might even be a better experience in a
Mhm.
certain way, where you don't have to worry about running into each other. But it is cool to actually hear their footsteps outside of the headset as well as inside, and hear them breathing and kind of like running and panting a little bit. You know what I mean? It does add even more to the immersion. So plus, then you can kind of take off your headset and you can yell at each other and kind of do all the bickering that you do when you play multiplayer competitive games.
Mhm.
So I really enjoyed it. Now, I think the hardest part was actually before you even get in the game, just getting your quest to map out that 10 by 10 meter spot, because it can be a little tough. If you're not centered the right way, the square that the quest wants might be kind of sideways. So you got to kind of stand in the middle of your play area, face that wall, calibrate, and then kind of go out and map your space, because you have to be the exact amount, like the exact allowed amount for your play space. The quest barrier doesn't get any bigger, and you can't make it any bigger. But if it's not maxed out, the game won't even launch. It won't even allow you to click into arena mode. So
Mhm.
Right, got it. One more question that I have: is there some kind of way to probably make levels on your own if you have some play space, and probably
Mm.
there is some real things that you want to avoid to run into, that you put some virtual
Mhm.
wall around it? Can
You
you do something
can,
like this?
yeah,
Oh
you
no,
absolutely
come
can.
on, really?
You can.
What?
You can go
That's
in
it.
there.
That's amazing.
You can go in there with your friend, and
No
the
kidding.
two of you can build your own map. There's 3 spots to build
Oh my
custom levels, and
goodness.
it's like a
So you can make it
Mario Maker thing
smaller.
in VR.
So you can
You
make it
can't
like
make
7 by 8 or 7 by 9, for example, instead of
I
10 by
mean,
10?
we kind of asked the developers that, and their stance obviously was it is not intended to be used
Yeah,
like
right.
that, right?
But you
Because
could probably
it's
do it.
going to be hard to get the Quest to recognize that space, just to get its own guardian system to work properly, by mapping out a 10 by 10 meter space if it's covered in walls, right? So that would be pretty hard. Technically, I think you probably could pull it off, although there really isn't. Once you're in there, it's like really just enough room. I don't think it would be as fun with any less room. But if there
Mhm.
was something in
Okay.
the middle of the play space, you could definitely wall it in. You can just sit there and spend your
Love it.
time just creating custom levels instead of actually running through and playing them. Like, everything is customizable from within the headset. You're collabing the level creation process, placing walls here, and what do you think about a pillar here or a rock here? You know what I mean? It's really, really cool, not just to actually play the game, but to creatively work with a friend to build really neat maps. So
That is
Oh yeah.
fantastic. I think that's so
yeah.
cool, right? You have this play space, and probably there is some obstacle. I don't know, some pillar or something. Okay, then
Mhm.
you build something around it, and boom, you can still play. Perfect. We
Yeah,
got a
but now
question
you can't.
from
I don't think you can add to the already created maps. So you
right,
would
a
be
new
stuck
one, a
with
new
custom
one. You make
maps.
it. Yeah, but that's good
Mhm.
enough. I think that's good enough.
Mhm. Yeah.
Sampler 19 asks, oops, Sampler 19. Hello, Sampler 19. Is it true there are only 3 save slots, probably for these custom maps?
Yes. Yeah. So you can build 3 custom maps, and that's probably due to some kind of quest memory or limitation.
Okay, well, for me that's fine
But yeah,
actually. I
yeah,
think
3
one
custom
would.
maps plus the 4 or 5 that are already in there. I think it's 5.
And if you play with someone, you can just share the map with them. Do they have to download it, or do they just play it, whatever you shared with them?
Yeah, they do download the map. So, but when you're kind of in there, you can kind of you can do it together. So as you're creating the level, if you're doing it together, it's already headsets, right? Because you're both in there collaboratively making it. But if you went out and one and then a friend had to connect to it, I believe you would have to download it. But I haven't tested that. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Okay.
but really cool
Okay.
stuff. Really
Wow.
cool.
Amazing.
I love it. I really love it that you can make your custom maps depending on
Yeah.
your own locality. That is so cool.
Yeah.
And it's just so many options and possibilities that this opens. And Skeeva, another question. So I believe this is such a cool. It would be such a cool game for arcades to offer, actually. And I know that you're now working right with arcades. And
Mhm.
is there a kind of a different business model for arcades who want to use this for their own arcades, or
Yeah.
or do they just buy the game and can offer it? Tell us
No,
about.
so the problem is that, like I mentioned before, the problem is
Oh
that you cannot
no!
license a
All
Quest
right,
to work in an arcade. So
that
it'll be
sucks.
interesting, right? But if the Space Pirate guys were to go and get this all set up on like a Vive Focus 3, then I'm
Right.
sure that could be a thing, right? Or a Pico Neo, and maybe they're working towards that. But at the moment, there isn't a legal way for location-based entertainment centers to use this because it is only Quest.
Wow, you have to go
You can't
rogue and you have
run
to
it on
set up
anything
some
else.
dark site and offer this illegally.
Yeah,
Oh, I like this.
yeah,
Yeah, MRTV
it's a bummer.
experience. Come to Germany and play that.
Hmm.
Okay. So, oh wow. So I really hope then that the Space Pirate trainer and DX team that they're going to bring this to another headset. Really,
Me
that would be
too.
good. Really,
More
really.
people need to be able to experience this because it is phenomenal.
I just think that it's also kind of easy to set up the arcade experience if you were allowed to just
Mhm.
buy a couple of, I don't know, Pico Neo 3s and buy some special license, and then you just have a big space. I don't know what kind of space, just have enough space and then make your own location-based entertainment system.
A
That would
perfect
be
fit.
so
Mhm.
good, right?
Yep, absolute perfect fit, and I hope to see that come to fruition eventually. That'd be nice.
Exactly. Wow, I can't wait to play it, and I am going to play it tomorrow. I can't wait. It's going to be so epic because
You're gonna love it.
I do love location-based games. It's for me, it's just the real level of virtual reality. The next level where you really actually walk through, and I can't wait for actually a great, omnidirectional treadmills to come out, right? Where you just like in VR and you can just walk. But like being able to walk in reality, like a Space Pirate Trainer offers you, that is simply the best. And I'm
It's
so
nothing like it.
it's nothing like it. And I must say I'm really sad that the Void didn't make it. Right?
Oh
It
no,
seems like they didn't survive this whole COVID thing.
that's too
And
bad.
then exactly, and because that was mind blowing. I can still remember I tried the Star Wars experience in the Void. It was in the UK, and I loved it. And yeah, that's gone. Too bad. Yeah. But something else is going to come up, and I think location-based is actually really the future of arcades, of VR arcades, because it's just so much fun. Right. So now let's talk about the kind of like stupid side of this whole thing, because there has been some kind of like review bombing of Space Pirate Trainer DX. Some people are like changing their positive reviews down to 1 star after the update because they cannot play the new arena mode because they don't have a 10 by 10 space. And I must say, really, My faith in humanity is kind of going down when I hear something like this. Like, are you frigging kidding me? This is like a free upgrade, which brings so many new things on the table. And some people are changing their positive reviews to negative because they don't have a 10 by 10 meter space. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you? I'm like shocked about this stupidity. What are your thoughts about that?
It's
Well, it's
unbelievable, isn't it?
nonsense. It's nonsense, isn't it? I mean, it's complete nonsense. Anybody would think the same. I think this reminds me in some ways because, like you said there, Sebastian, as well. It was like how just because they are not able to at the specific moment in time that they want to be able to do this thing, then they're going to lower this review down. And it reminds me in some ways of in a little bit of the people that have something like, say, a PlayStation exclusive and it comes out on PC and they hate on this game now because they bought a PlayStation, they're a PlayStation fanboy, they want it only on PlayStation, and now it's out on a PC, and all of a sudden they hate the game, they hate the developers because they bought it out on PC. And I see this as a similar kind of entitlement, really. I mean, that's what it comes down to, I suppose. And look, at the end of the day, like you've said it. I mean, it's barely worth discussing because it's so obvious. It's a free update. Just get over it. You've got this extra functionality. If one day you are able to use it, it's there for you. Just enjoy it for what it is anyway. Yeah. So I mean, it is nonsense, honestly, isn't it?
It's super childish. It's very immature. Like I don't understand the logic behind it, that you're getting something for free that wasn't there to begin with, and you're going to change the review of the game because you want to play this and for some reason you can't. Now, look, the developers told me yesterday that they don't have space in their house. They have to go out to their work warehouse and to do this. They don't have room to do this at their place either, right? And it's not just Arena that they included. They also included a versus mode for everyone for free that you can play. If you can play the regular game, it's the same space restrictions as the regular game where you can play with friends. So it's absolutely blowing my mind that these guys put out 2 new modes to an already cool game for free.
Exactly. It's already cool.
They could have easily just created a new game and just do it Space Pirate Arena, pay $20 and you will get just that. And it still wouldn't make sense then, even if that was the situation and people were bombing that specific game because they have to pay for something they wouldn't be able to play. But it is just an addition to an existing game. And if anything, even if you can't play it, you can still recognize the potential for the future. Just take it as that. Okay, you're too lazy to find a place to play it, but it is always an option. Maybe you'll have that in the future, and you don't have to pay $20 to get that option. It's just, gifted to you for free. I don't know. People, there's a lot of entitlement going on that every user wants every game to be catered to his individual preferences, and I don't know how they see the world work around that. They think that there is something to be done about it, but there isn't. Sorry, I keep pushing my microphone. I need to change a little bit. Yeah, but this is just not how the world works, and some of these expectations just need to be changed. I don't think that people understand how the development of these games even work and how the future of VR is developing.
Unbelievable.
I can just, to all the people who actually did this, and I'm sure none of you who are watching this live right now did that kind of thing, but if that should be the case, shame on you. No, really, this is really unbelievable. And for all the people who are watching this right now and who are playing the game and who have the game, who own the game and who are going to play it, if you enjoy the game, please give it a 5-star review. Just like tell people what you think about it. I personally think it's unbelievably amazing to get this free update, and it's so cool that this company, this development studio, actually tried something new. Tried to give us location-based entertainment for everyone to try out. And I must tell you, I even think it's amazing that they have this requirement to have this 10 by 10 space. So I am looking forward to this event. I'm going to meet VR enthusiast, a friend of mine in person, and we're going to rent this place for 15 euros an hour, and it's going to be an amazing event. I'm going to make a video about it. It's going to be fun. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure it's going to be fun, right? So this is something amazing. It's going to even bring people together. Right,
I think there
Skeeva,
is
you and
a
Alex, you met each other as well in real life. I mean, you meet each other quite often, right? But anyways, it's so cool.
I think there is a stigma around VR that VR is meant to be experienced alone at home, or somehow like it will transport you somewhere and you don't have to go anywhere. I think there is this kind of, I don't know, inner understanding that this is what VR is and it shouldn't be anything else. It shouldn't ask you to go somewhere because you're already in that reality. Um, and so people maybe have harder time switching their mindset and actually just putting a little bit of effort of getting that space and then unlocking so many doors and so many potentials to what VR can be, which wouldn't be possible without that physical space.
But yeah, exactly right. And it blows my mind really, because I didn't even realize this was free until very recently, actually, like a few weeks ago, where people started to talk about this stuff. And I didn't realize it was free until then. I expected to pay for this extra functionality. So it blows my mind that anybody would complain about this. It's like complaining about a mobile phone having a higher megapixel camera than you are going to require. I only need an 8 megapixel camera, so why has this phone got 12 megapixels? I'm going to review bomb it. It's ridiculous. And there's this other side as well. I mean, there's a certain thing about, there's a nuance to reviewing where you could say, well, in some cases, not in this case, it doesn't even apply to this case, but there's some cases where you could say a game gets updated with something that you don't like. We've seen this with Superhot, okay, recently. They did have an update where they took out a certain section of the game just to cover themselves, really. I didn't necessarily agree with that decision to take that out, in all honesty, but they did it. And people went on changing their reviews from 5 stars down to 1 star based on the decision to remove that. It's ridiculous. The fact that they've removed that single part of that game doesn't suddenly make it from a 5 star down to a 1 star. Lower your review down, lower it down to 4 stars, 3 stars even, if that's truly the way you feel. But review bombing to me has this certain implication that you love the game, but you just want to send a message. You want revenge almost to the developers.
Yeah, very strange. Very, very strange. Anyways, let's play it ourselves, enjoy it, and give it a good review. And I think in the end, the community, the goodwill of this community, which is still great, is going to win. And we're going to also hopefully send a good message to the developers. Thank you for giving us this new experience, right? Meeting up at some kind of tennis courts or whatever courts and just giving it a try, just giving us the ability to try location-based VR. And yeah, it is the best in my opinion. I love it. I can't wait to try it out myself. And yeah, next week we're going to talk about our personal experiences trying it out. And yeah, thanks, Skeeva, for telling us how good it is. And I totally believe you. I think it's just, wow, I can't wait to try it out myself. So cool.
It's amazing. Next time I'm in Germany, we'll go out.
Wow. We're going to meet, Skeeva. I have a good feeling we're going to meet each other at one point in time. Yeah. Also,
we already have.
Tetiana.
Well,
yeah, we
like
Skeeva, we did. Yeah, we
Yeah.
did.
Looks like you don't even need to be in the same space, so you can just
true.
schedule. Like, you
You're
can
right,
just
yeah.
play together.
You're
Yep.
right. Exactly. Right. Oh, wow. I'm looking forward to that. And everyone out there, try it out, make a video about it probably, and just tell the world how amazing location-based VR is, because it is. Alrighty, let's talk about the next topic. And let me share my screen here with you. It is the Lynx mixed reality headset. We talked to Stan Laroque here on the podcast. We had him here. And this is a VR and AR headset because it has really nice pass-through, color pass-through. And finally, we know how expensive it is going to be. It is going to sell for $500 only on Kickstarter when it goes on sale there in late September. And that is actually a pretty fantastic price point. So this is a standalone VR headset Very comparable to, for example, the Quest, because you do not need a computer to work together with this. And well, yeah, everything you need is in this headset, but it has some more tricks up its sleeves because it does have lots of cameras here, RGB cameras that will do color pass through. So it can do some amazing augmented reality stuff where you can still see your reality through these color pass through cameras and some augmented things augmented into your world. And well, I'm really looking forward to see some actual examples of how this is going to work. So first of all, this was built as a headset for enterprise customers with the price of $1,500. But recently, the company has shifted, and now actually they also want to sell this to us consumers. And before, the company said it's going to have a sub $1,000 price point, and now in a new YouTube video, Stan has told us that that this is going to cost $499. Yeah. So, what do you think about this?
It's good. It's good. I mean, I think it's a good price for what they are offering, because we know that Oculus are subsidising the Quest, so we knew it was never going to approach that kind of price. But they've got the XR2 exactly the same as the Quest in there, and this is really sort of the price point where I was looking at them when they came out and said that it was going to be a few hundred. This is really what I was expecting it to be, sort of $400-$500 really, and it makes sense. One major complaint that people are having about this, that the only complaint really that I'm seeing from most people is that that price doesn't come with included controllers. So I think it's worth mentioning that because it's going to be important for certain people that want to pick this up as a direct competitor to the Quest and use it for VR gaming and for streaming Steam VR games and that kind of stuff. So it's important to say that. However, we've got to remember that this price includes a headset which has this incredible AR pass-through functionality as well. That shouldn't be ignored. There's going to be people that don't mind Facebook, don't mind logging in with Facebook, and are perfectly fine, oblivious almost to Facebook, and that's okay. And they will want to get a Quest. To convince those people to go for something like this is probably going to be difficult based on the sole fact of VR gaming. But for a certain number of people who are interested in that side, but also in this AR pass-through, which, by the way, is not the same as the Quest pass-through. This is, first of all, the quality is much higher anyway. It's full color, it's higher resolution. But also, this device is a true AR device. It's not just pass-through. It has mesh, it has occlusion meshes for your room and things like that, so it will actually behave, the AR objects will behave in your room as you want them to behave, rather than on the Quest 2 pass-through mode it doesn't know that there's a table there or that there's a piece of furniture there or anything like that. This will, so that's an important thing to mention as well. This is far higher spec than that. But yeah, I personally, just to finish off my thoughts on this, I think that the $499 price is really as best as we could have hoped for from a product like this.
Agreed. Yeah, absolutely. This is a fantastic price, and it's going to turn some heads for sure. Skeeva, what are your thoughts about the Lynx in general before we heard about this price tag, and now that we know more the details, like $499 but doesn't have controllers? What are your thoughts in general?
Well, so for me, I think this is awesome. I think the more competition we can get into this market, the better. The more choice we can give people, the better. The more types of hardware, the more just not even for consumers, but also for the developers, right? To be able to get into these different platforms with different people running the show. I think for a lot of reasons, this is incredible. Now, if I had the option to buy a Quest 2 without the subsidy cost, right, and pay full actual price without giving them any of my data, I would do it in a second, right? So this for me is a no-brainer. Not to mention that this isn't just a VR headset. Like Gary was saying, this is a full-blown color augmented reality headset. I just can't see there being another. There is no other product out there that's going to offer this kind of value. Now we'll see how it's actually implemented when it actually comes out, right, and how it runs. Because one of the other things, let's be real, is you could have the best piece of tech in the world, right? You could have an absolutely amazing headset, but if the ecosystem doesn't support any games or anything, well, it's going to be kind of a paperweight. So we'll see what kind of response that they get from the developer teams. We'll see how their business model is on the back end to facilitate the business coming over to them. Because I would love to see a really good Quest competitor, and one that can also really start introducing people into into augmented reality, because that in and of itself is so special, and it's such an amazing thing. And I'm very, very excited. I'm also excited for this clear version that they have, right? Like going back to those like old 90s telephones where you could kind of see through the plastic to the components inside. I think that's super awesome. I think the design looks really, really cool, and I am dying to get my hands on this thing.
Nice, really nice. Yeah, I agree. I also like the see-through version, but this is going to cost you a bit more. This is going to cost you like $700, and
Yeah.
actually, I think it's a smart way to subsidize like the whole project, right? Because well, the $700 version is going to subsidize them, and also like selling this to enterprises, which is going to be a bit more expensive. I think $900
Yeah.
is going to subsidize the consumer version, and in general, I do like this setup that they're using these special versions and the enterprise version to subsidize the cheaper consumer version, because they're not making any money with this $499 version, right? Tetiana, what are your thoughts about the Lynx headset?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with Gary and Skeeva. I think Facebook absolutely needs a competitor, and this has all chances of becoming one, especially because it introduces something I think Quest has neglected. At least at the moment, the AR mode is something that consumers have not explored yet, and so they get an opportunity to explore it better, maybe with Lynx. But as for my thoughts, I mean, to jump from 1,500 to 500, that's a really big price leap. And I know they did it by, I don't know, changing some components, like substituting something or modifying, making them cheaper. I just hope that we are not in the situation where they invested too much in the budget uh, elements, and then it translates into the quality of the product. Like that's the one thing that we would need to just see, just how much they were willing to sacrifice to lower down the price. And I mean, I'm all for cheaper headsets, but it's 3 times lower now. So we'll have to see how that translates. Yeah, and a good point about the App Store and the games. We don't know anything about that. Whether it would be connected to Steam, that would be great. But what about AR? What is what is the value for the consumers to introduce the AR mode, colorful and more clear, but what are they going to be using it for? I think they will need to be very clear in communicating what's the value in this functionality, and whether there's going to be really something that would make them want to spend these extra, I don't know, however much it's more expensive than Quest, but what's the purpose of the consumer model while it was originally for enterprise? Like,
Yeah.
Right, that's a good question. Gary, you go first.
yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, that is a good question to bring up. And just on the app delivery system as well, that's something that Stan from Lynx needs to clarify a little bit. I know that he's working behind the scenes trying to sort out this app delivery system side. But you're absolutely right, Tetiana, with that AR, we need developers, we need content. One of the things I would say is just a plain thing that anybody could see, any mainstream user could look at. Have you seen this AR Magic Keys? It's using the Quest 2 pass-through mode, where you can sit at your piano and it will teach you to play the piano. Now, that is a unique and an incredible application for a simple pass-through mode, but by having this extra functionality for true AR, where it's got this mesh as well over the piano and these other kinds of things, it's going to be a great application. Now, you could say, now as a learning device for just that one thing, you could say, could it be sold almost as like if you could pick up at something for say £200, $200, say, where it's sold solely as this piano teaching system, that's not beyond the realms of possibility. Then we've got a device here which is $500. It's got that application, numerous other possible applications that we've got to wait for developers to come out with all of these innovations. And I think we're going to see them. AR and just pass through in general, I think, is going to have big applications. But at this stage, you're right, Tetiana, it's very difficult to sell that to a consumer at this moment in time. I agree with that. But yeah.
Yeah, I think my question was more of like a hypothetical about how, like, what are you offering to the consumers? So consumers would be asking, why should I buy that? And then it was a great example with the which application you said?
Magic Keys, but a couple of them were
Keys,
doing
and
it.
there's Virtuos,
Yes.
Virtuos, which is another one which I think, just like Magic Keys, they transformed, like they added a new mode which would take advantage of this pass-through. So this is amazing. But those are existing apps, and there's an existing app store. So I think that the key to the success in Lynx would be introducing this store that would show the value and actually demonstrate that there's so much more that you can do with this AR mode, and it's worth the money, especially if it still can do the VR stuff that Quest does.
Yeah.
Okay, like a store like SideQuest, for example.
Exactly.
Exactly, Tetiana. No pressure here, right? But a store like SideQuest would be perfect for that. And by the way, greetings go out to Lynx who are in the house here in the chat. Probably Stan, hello. Great that you're here. And of course, we would love to invite you to any of the future episodes of the Next Dimension podcast. Probably once your Kickstarter goes live, then we can talk more in person about it. And I'm just thinking about how great and how much fun it is already with the Quest, seeing your fingers, right? The finger tracking on the Quest is pretty amazing. And using your fingers in order to do things in VR or in this kind of mixed reality mode is kind of magic, in my opinion, already for the Quest. And now using the Quest for something like Workrooms, right? Workrooms is this app where you can, use your desktop in VR and use your keyboard in VR. It's magical. And even with that black and white of the Quest, using that pass-through mode in order to see your keyboard in VR, it is so good. And I've also like made a video on my channel how good it is. And I'm just imagining how unbelievably awesome this would be with something like the Lynx, where you have a pass-through mode that is in color. And I haven't seen it with my own eyes. I really want to see it. And I am totally ready to go to Paris to check this out myself. So to have this kind of perfect finger tracking, because the Lynx is using not just cameras, they are using the ultra-leap sensor, right, in order to make finger tracking happen. And then together with that color pass-through, which is, according to the videos that we've seen, way better than that black and white pass-through of the Quest, I believe that this hardware is pretty magical for a price point of $499 from a company that is not Facebook, from a company that is a startup. And wow, actually, I must tell you, I'm pretty amazed by this price point, $499. And in my opinion, they're getting not enough like support, and like people don't understand what it means for a small startup, for a complete new startup to make a device for this kind of money that can nearly compete with Facebook, where it's super subsidizing that Quest. So I believe that this hardware is amazing for this price point, but I also agree with you guys, we need to see the content. And until now, we don't actually know what content it can do. And again, just like you mentioned as well, what kind of platform it's going to use in order to give us content. And will all these content providers, all these developers that are now doing like kind of mixed reality content for the Quest 2, are they going to translate those apps to the Lynx, which probably they could do, and will they do it? That's the question. So I absolutely back this project. I think it's an amazing project. We need some competition, but I also don't see this actually as a real competitor to the Quest 2, right? The Quest 2 is just the perfect consumer headset for people who want to play games. This is not it. I believe this is simply not it, right? It doesn't come with controllers. I'm not actually aware of how Lynx is going to solve it. I wasn't able to watch the whole Q&A because I was on vacation. So, Gary, could you answer that question for me? Are they going to have some? What's with Finch? Tell us a bit more about that, bro.
Yeah, so they did mention this, and we've got links in chat now as well, so maybe they can chime in with this. But from the live stream, Stan said that they are working, they've got a couple of different solutions that they're still looking into at the moment, Finch being one of them. And then, of course, they've got another one as well. I think it's still slightly up in the air, the route that they're going to take with the controllers. Last time Stan was on the show, we did sort of discuss this as well then. And I mentioned then that I think that in order to compete with the Quest 2, it was really a necessity to have controllers in the box if you want to compete on that front. Now, it might be that they've transitioned from that. It can still compete with the Quest 2 on some ways, but I think it needs to play into its strengths as well, and
totally agreed.
Play into the strengths of it having this incredible AR ability from what we've seen, but also having its independence from anything. They mentioned explicitly no data. They don't want our data. They're a product company.
I love
that. So that's very important to mention as well.
That is such an important point, right? You do not have to log in with any kind of social account. You do not have to tell them who you are. You can do whatever you want in VR and AR. And that is such an important part. This is like a huge part. And just for that, I really, really support that Kickstarter and that company. And I can't wait to look through that headset myself. And I totally agree with you, Gary. I really don't think, actually, that this should be like seen as competition to the Quest 2 for playing VR games. I think it cannot compete against the Quest 2. The Quest 2 is honestly perfect for consumers for playing games, right? If it wasn't for that Facebook forced login, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But actually, not having controllers, it is not going to be that VR headset that we want. And people who want to play VR games, they're probably going to go for another headset, right? It just doesn't make sense to try to compete against the Quest 2 in that respect. No. But I really see, just as Gary, that Lynx brings so much more to the table, that whole AR thing. And it's a whole different kind of dimension where they can blow us away, where they can do things that the Quest cannot do or cannot do in this kind of way. And in my opinion, what Stan and the team should do, they should really blow us away with the AR functions and show the consumers, hey, this is a viable thing. This is so cool. AR is so cool. What you can do with our headset is so cool that it's so worth it to pay these 500 euros. Because I don't think you can convince somebody and tell them, hey, you know what, this is a Quest competitor. Okay, you don't need to log in with your Facebook account. But actually, you still have to find some controllers and you won't have the Quest 2 games. So I don't think you should go out there and tell people this is a Quest 2 competitor. Would you agree with that?
Well, Lynx said the controller story is far from over. We hear you.
Okay.
So there is some suspense here.
Oh yeah, I can wait.
We're going to, and then with the App Store, we're going to have to, I don't know, see what they have in store. Yeah, I'm reading that.
Right. Yeah, let's
well,
see.
It's going to be an interesting thing to see, because I think if these guys can come out with a controller solution, and they can put together a store that has lots of content for people to buy, at that point they're a Quest competitor for sure. Because
you're right.
I know a lot
Agreed.
of people, yeah, that will buy this just for no Facebook. I mean, I would put down my Quest in a second to do that. I would gladly pay the $1,500 if I could do everything my Quest could do, just with no Facebook. So my fingers crossed that these guys come up with a good solution for that. And then you throw AR on top of it, and I think we have a winner. But it'll be interesting to see, because I've always wondered with with the Valve Index, with their color pass through, if developers would start kind of checking out the AR scene there, right? But I haven't seen anything really come out in that regard either. So it's interesting. See what happens.
Yeah, but the resolution is not so good on this.
Yeah.
So,
I think
on the Lynx it is. So
on the Lynx it is. It's got this high definition sort of full color pass through, and it's not just the pass through side. It needs these other sensors as well to have this awareness of your environment as well. I think is important. And I mean, I think just on your point there, Skeeva, you were saying there are a lot of people that are aware and don't want to support Facebook and would gladly choose a product which doesn't do that. I don't think there's enough of those people, unfortunately.
That's the point.
To make it that they...
Skeeva and me would do it.
Yeah. I mean, I understand, like, in my circle, I'm sure... Actually, no. Some of my friends, they don't care. They've just picked up Quest.
Same here.
We play Quest all the time. They simply don't care about that side. Yeah, there are people in my circle that certainly do care. I just think that a majority of people don't care. And that's the problem. That's the uphill battle that they're struggling with. Unfortunately, it is the unfortunate side of it. But
I think we'll find out, because there's competition coming for sure. Like, you don't make a splash the size of what Facebook did with the Quest. You know, we got games now like Expect You to Die 2 that just made over $1 million in 1 week. That attracts a whole lot of people into a market like this. And I think we're going to see headsets come that do not require Facebook and have better terms of service than Facebook is going to put out. And I think we're going to be able to tell pretty quick with how fast those headsets grow or not.
Right.
You know,
right.
I see a lot of people all the time that are like, nope, I will not buy a Quest because of Facebook. And, you know, I wouldn't have had I not been in the situation where, like, I feel like I need to try all these things and do all these things. And the Quest 2 is great. It's an awesome headset, and it makes me want to cry all the time that I'm selling my soul and my bio data for this. And like I said, if I could pay the full price and opt out of the data collection, I absolutely would. So please, competition, we need you. Come on, everyone, come on in.
Right. But, you know, I really, really want to highlight that price again. So I understand we're all spoiled by this $299 from Facebook, right? But they have put so much money into that. And can we appreciate that a small company from France, from nothing, from zero, created a device that could compete on specs with the Quest 2 and even put something more on the table, perfect color pass-through, and has a price of $499? Come on, please. Can we appreciate that this is an amazing price, and that if anyone who cares about that whole data collection and privacy concerns of Facebook now has an option to support that with only $499 and gets a device that is really like cutting edge for AR?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot easier now to skew people who are on the edge. Should I get a VR set? Should I not get a VR set? Yes, it's cheap, but I need to give my data. Now we hopefully will get a headset that you won't have to compromise with. Low price, but data, no data, but a very high price. We might get a very reasonably priced headset that does not ask for you to sacrifice like your personal data and biodata, and that is amazing, and that could be a win.
Absolutely. And just think about it, like the HTC Vive Focus 3 is a very nice standalone headset that absolutely can compete with the Quest 2, but it's $1,400. Yeah. Come on. And this device, it even has color AR pass-through and so many more options, and it's going to set you back $499. Come on, think about it. This price is crazy.
I don't know if you can remember, Sebastian, and well, everybody on the show actually, when the Quest, before the Quest was actually announced, we knew it was coming out, and people were guessing at the price of that product. Right. Everybody was guessing like $600, $700 because there was no expectation back then of what these kinds of devices should cost. Now, unfortunately, Facebook have subsidized it to such an extent that there is a level of expectation that these should only be $300-400. And that's not true. That's not what these things cost. The fact that Lynx have got this down to $499, I think you're absolutely right. It is incredible that they've got it down to that price. So yeah, I'm all for supporting Lynx. I am very I'm very tempted. You know, it's finances again, isn't it? This is still money that I've got to find to support them, and I want to support them, and I'm very interested in this product primarily for the AR aspect of it. If truth be told, so I fully back Lynx as much as I can. I still think it's a tough ask to go up against the Quest 2, and that's just my opinion. But it's just a tough thing.
It is, absolutely. So I can't wait to look through the device and tell you what I think about it. And just give you my honest opinions. Even, of course, obviously, I like the thought of this, but I will tell you my honest opinions when I look through this headset. And Stan, you're probably here right now watching this. Get Gary from the UK to Paris. Get me to Paris. Let's meet there, Gary, and let's tell people what we think about it. I think that would be the best option. So, Stan, get in touch with me and Gary, and let's make this happen. Of course, it would also be great to meet Tetiana and Skeeva there, right? So if you have some more budget to bring more people, they would be really great.
I'll hop on a plane tomorrow. Let's do this.
Yep.
Okay.
No problem.
Stan, you know what to do. You know what to do next. Yeah, right. So this is Lynx and the upcoming Kickstarter that obviously I will cover here on MRTV and that we're going to talk about here in the Next Dimension podcast. And here we got it. Lynx says you're all invited. So let's just do this. And we have it here, black on white. And wow, we could probably see all these 4 people together in Paris, and probably we would have a good time.
Probably.
Most probably. Stan, make it happen. All right, cool. That is Lynx, and that's the Kickstarter that is going to happen in this month, actually at the end of this month, and you're going to hear from it here on MRTV and in the Next Dimension podcast. All right, now we're going to talk about Facebook and Ray-Ban. And we're going to talk about these here. These are the Facebook and Ray-Ban Stories glasses. And I'm not exactly sure if I should call them smart glasses because they are not so smart, right? So these are Ray-Bans. They have 3 different kinds of them, and well, they do look like the typical Ray-Bans. They are wayfarers, and I personally do like these sunglasses a lot, but they are not just the normal sunglasses. They also have 2 cameras here, and also they have audio. And what you can do with those, you can connect them to your phone, and you will need to download Facebook app, a special Facebook View app it is called. And with this Facebook View app, you can communicate with these glasses. And there's also like a button here at the temple. And when you click on it, you can record video and you can take pictures. And if you want to record videos, you're going to record 30 seconds at most videos. And these will be, will send to your phone. And then on your phone, you can share them to TikTok. Makes sense, right? And also some other apps that you want to share your 30 seconds videos with. And the whole thing is going to set you back $300. All right, these are the Ray-Ban Stories. And I would like to ask you, what is your opinion on these, Skeeva?
Oh boy, me first, huh?
Yeah, you first. Come on, give it to us.
To me, this is like giving Mark Zuckerberg a piggyback ride like all the time, where he gets to like come in your house with your family, he gets to like drive around with you, he gets to go around and see what you're looking at different stores, and like this is literally like having Mark Zuckerberg on my back with me all the time, and I am so not comfortable with that. If this were by any other company, I would be, well, you know, any other company with a decent terms of service and privacy, I would be on it in a minute. But I would be so paranoid all the time. I would always feel like I was being watched. I can't do it, man. I just can't do it. This is not for me. This is taking biodata theft unit to a whole different level, and for me, it's a total no-go.
Okay, very clear opinion here of Skeeva. What are your thoughts, Tetiana? You want to talk about it, right?
Well, there are definitely concerns with that. I don't think that there can not be when we talk about Facebook, right? But it's definitely not an AR headset. It's not AR glasses. They don't even have those lenses or display. Like they're just regular lenses. So you can buy them with prescription, you can buy them like shades, and they're cameras. I think that just keeping it this simple to this simple level, like you take videos, you take pictures, and you listen to audio, is a really smart strategy on their part to ease people down into the idea of wearing these devices on your eyes. Because if they immediately came up with something super smart, AR, you can see the augmented reality and these just regular shades, a lot of people would get um intimidated by that, and it would still be targeted towards a very small niche that are into AR technologies. I think they are targeting all people because they partnering with Ray-Ban. They are, people know Ray-Ban, they know their designs. It just feels more safe because this is something very familiar. They are literally easing people down into something this advanced by including still very few features. Camera recording, taking pictures, and audio seems really harmless, right? So maybe a strategy is to attract more people who would never even think about getting something, because $300 is kind of I don't know, for some people it could be a typical price tag for sunglasses from Ray-Ban or from other like big names. This is not like
You're right. Yeah.
sunglasses for $100, $200, $300, and you get to take pictures. Maybe, I can see people buying them even if they would never think that they wanted an AR glasses, because they are not. And I did order a pair because I can, because I'm in the US. That doesn't mean I'm going to be wearing it at home, in the car, and everywhere. I just want to see what it's like and what it offers. I don't expect I'll be using it on a regular basis, but I want to experience it. I want to see what they're offering, because I'm sure 100% this is an intermediate stage to something much bigger that they will create.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, easing them into this whole idea of like wearing cameras all time when you're interacting with other people. Probably that's a good strategy, right? Even with a nice form factor that we are all used to.
Yeah.
I also own these Wayfarers glasses. Yeah, that might be a smart move. What are your thoughts, Gary?
Yeah, I completely agree with Tetiana on that last point. Honestly, I think it's a way of normalizing the technology. Honestly, I've got almost zero interest in this generation of what they are doing here. I won't be picking these up, but I can understand why they are doing it in this step. What I wanted with this announcement, because we knew this was not like the Project Aria, which is their AR project. We knew it wasn't that. We knew it was them doing a smart glasses thing originally, but I was sort of half hoping we would still get some kind of like visual sort of notification based stuff that you might be able to get just in the corner, not AR. I wanted something like that just to separate it a little bit from these Snap spectacles, but we didn't get that, and this is more or less what Snap are doing with their spectacles, which is fine. And again, I agree with Tetiana. It's the normalizing of this technology to get people to just get used to wearing these things anyway. The interesting thing about this was that extended announcement where there was Mark Zuckerberg and the guy from Ray-Ban as well. They were both sort of talking about this product, and Mark Zuckerberg explicitly said this is the first step on a journey to true AR glasses, where you can sit down with somebody, play chess with somebody 3,000 miles away. That is a level of candid that we don't get from other companies, because he is directly saying basically these are good, but this is just a first step. You need to look to what these mean to the future. We don't hear Tim Cook saying that kind of stuff. Tim Cook has said that he believes in AR, and AR is the future of Apple products, but he doesn't explicitly say that they are working on AR glasses and that we are going to get AR glasses from Apple, even though we know from all the rumors, all the acquisitions, that they're definitely working in that direction. Tim Cook will never say that. So this level of candidness from Mark Zuckerberg is actually quite encouraging to me. And I loved what he was talking there about AR, separating that entirely from what Skeeva's first point was with the privacy and data, and having Mark Zuckerberg riding on your back, which is, of course, a big concern as well.
Yeah, right. So I must say I was completely wrong with my prediction for these glasses. I thought these would be some stylish glasses, and they are. Okay, for this I was right. But I was also thinking they would give us some basic functionality, something more in terms of, okay, you can have some notifications that are put into your field of view. It would somehow give you some very light information, like Google Maps, like, okay, now turn left, turn right, something like this. And in my opinion, this would have been more interesting, at least for me. Probably for others, this is exactly the right thing to have, right? So, I mean, we're living in these times where our attention spans are not longer than 30 seconds, and that's why TikTok is so amazing and so going through the roof, right? And probably this is exactly the right thing for it. But I personally was wrong with that. I thought we would get something more AR already, but probably we would not get this kind of form factor if it was like that. And then also I thought probably they would introduce this kind of AR functionality even without cameras. I thought like they would stay away from cameras because, well, we know that the Google project has completely failed. Like when it came out in 2013, it was like those Google AR headsets, right? And people who were using them at this time and like filming people, they were called glass holes. Right, for running around in the public and taking videos with their headsets, and people were not sure, am I being filmed right now? Mm-hmm. And I'm really surprised about this, because these are glasses that only have this functionality of taking videos of people, and probably those people won't even be aware of it. I'm totally with Skeeva here again, and I won't feel comfortable. I mean, not even not wearing them, but if some of my folks or somebody that I meet in public is wearing them and I see, hey, these are the Ray-Ban Stories, I wouldn't feel the same anymore.
They've got that little tiny LED that is barely visible.
Yes.
I want to talk about this one. So, okay, they come with these Ray-Ban Stories, and I'm aware of it, and I won't behave the same as before. I wouldn't feel comfortable talking with that person or interacting with the person because I'm not sure. Am I being recorded right now? Is this going to be a funny TikTok or a story or whatever? So this is already strange. And then about this LED, right? There is this LED which will light white. It's not even red. It is not even red. Right, so this was obviously like a decision that was taken by Facebook. Okay, do we make this red or do we make this white? And no, they didn't make it red. I mean, red is more like, okay, be careful, I'm recording right now. But white? Come on, especially if you are out and it's a sunshiny day. I don't think it's going to be so obvious. And then there is these terms and conditions which say like, okay, if you tamper with this LED, so obviously you will be able to tamper with this LED, right? And I don't know, like put some electro tape over it or somehow make it not visible or to completely destroy it. in Facebook said, if you tamper with this LED, it is going to be against our terms and conditions. Oh, it's going to be against your terms and conditions if you tamper with this LED. Oh man, are you friggin' kidding me? Of course people will do that. Of course people will disable that LED or like put some tape over it or whatever. And of course people will take videos with that in situations that are not comfortable. I don't know. At the beach, yeah, well, at some changing room, or like doing some funny things, or like talking with some stranger and asking him some strange questions while in these 30 seconds, everything is going to happen. All the things that Facebook doesn't want are definitely going to happen, and we're going to watch them on TikTok and on whatever platform there is. And it's not going to be the best example of what AR will be able to offer to us. In my opinion, this is going to be some kind of glass hole 2.0 situation that we're running into here. So that is bad, first of all. And then secondly, for me personally, I'm so bored by this product. I'm really, really bored. It's not like, okay, Sebastian is anti-Facebook in general, and that's it. No, it's not that it. And I said it on my Twitter like a few days ago, I will buy this and I will show it to everyone. And I was kind of excited about this. But honestly, right now, I'm not excited about this product. Zero, because it doesn't give me what I want. It doesn't give me any AR functionality. And being able to record somebody in stealth mode is not so cool. So, okay, I can now take videos with my two hands free when I play golf or whatever. But that is not an interesting use case. I think the use case is to take some stealth videos of some kind of situations that are probably going to be big on TikTok or whatever. But that's it. So I must tell you,
weird.
I'm really bored. I'm bored by this. And this coming from Facebook with all the negative implications to privacy, to your own privacy, and now even to other people's privacy. Are you freaking kidding me? This is terrible.
To me, it almost seemed like they were in a boardroom one day and they're like, look, we have an idea. We're going to spy on everyone and we're going to make them pay for it.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to even send them the glasses, but we're going to have them pay for the tech. They're going to wear it. They're going to send us the videos. They're going to send us the locations, who they're talking to, what they're doing, what they're looking at, what products they like, and why. But I don't know. They just will. They'll just do this. So let's give it a shot. So it's very strange. It's a very strange product to me.
No, they are good points. I agree with all your points, Sebastian. And I just think that it was only the matter of time before we saw glasses with cameras. And I mean, we've seen them already. But I just don't think that would stop. Sooner or later, we would have gotten them. Would I prefer them to not be from Facebook? Yes. But this is what we get. I just think that there is no escape from this. This is the kind of technology that would come eventually, and either in the form of just shades or as AR glasses. Like, AR glasses would have cameras as well. So we would be with the same issues. We would be facing the same problems here, but maybe with a different company that's not as questionable in some of their decisions.
Right. And probably with a red LED.
I didn't know actually it's white. I was reading
It's
the
white.
article. It didn't say the color. I assumed it was red. So you said it's white. It's new. It's news to me.
It's white. This is MRTV. You're getting the stuff.
It did show white on that video. Yeah,
it is white.
It did show white. Yeah, it's.
I guess I didn't notice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's. I agree with your point though, Sebastian. It's boring, and it is a boring product to me because they're doing basically a little bit more than what Snap are currently doing with their spectacles from 2-3 years ago. Really, they've got this little bit of extra functionality because they've got like the Facebook Assistant included. This higher end audio and that kind of stuff. So I guess it's got some value from that point of view.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that was the point. Like, I really think that exactly was the point, making it simple. adding functions that people are using every day already, and then putting them in this nice packaging of something that's easier, it's more accessible, it looks stylish because it's Ray-Ban, so anyone can use it instead of targeting people who are already into AR. Because
Yeah, it makes sense.
no,
I agree with
people
you.
wouldn't be buying if it was too complicated, if
Right.
it had all this AR function. I think that was exactly the point, to make it boring, like you said,
Yeah,
but
no,
more approachable.
You're right. You're right,
you're
Tetiana.
absolutely
You're absolutely
right.
right. Yeah.
It doesn't stop me from being bored, unfortunately.
Us. Yeah, right.
Can't blame you.
But actually, if this had some other functionalities like taking longer videos or probably directly live streaming, I would even think it's, for me, something interesting to wear when I'm on on an event like CES. Like if I run around CES and I could like live stream from that, it kind of probably would give me personally some value out of it, and probably I would really use it, right? But like it is right now with that 30 seconds, for me personally, it doesn't give me so much value. Probably it will give value to all these TikTokers who are doing these funny videos, and it's going to be amazing for them. But for me personally, no, right? And I just see all these negative implications that others not going to see at all.
Why is it? Why is it that this works with TikTok? Why doesn't this go directly to Facebook? That's kind of weird, isn't it? Especially with ByteDance being a
You can
competitor.
you can also share this to Facebook. I'm sure you can. It would make sense. You can share this to different kind of applications. TikTok just being one of the obvious ones, right? Because they do have this 60 seconds, I think, maximum. So that would make sense. Right. But well, I don't know. I'm not excited about it. So, but Tetiana, you said like, okay, it's gonna come anyways, right? So whatever. You didn't say whatever, but I mean like,
Don't put words in my mouth.
yeah, right. But the thing is, I think the other companies could do it differently.
Yes,
I just see
will.
right. Exactly. For example, I could see people being more eased into AR with some cool glasses that probably would have a LiDAR scanner, a LiDAR camera that doesn't take videos of people, right? And that could still give you that kind of augmentation to what you see.
Well, what I hope will happen is that all these limitations and reasons for concern will become obvious enough, first for users and second for other companies who would be working on competitors. And then since everybody knows about the issues with privacy and that literally any other company would probably do it, would be more trustworthy in that matter, that gives a little bit of an upper hand for other developers who would create something by learning on the concerns and learning maybe all the feedback that we will get from the users. I'm so curious to see this feedback. Like, I want to see whether like regular users who have nothing to do with AR or VR, they've never been into it, are they actually going to buy it and just introduce this new device into their wardrobe, just like an extension of their phone? I want to see it, because I feel like they are literally just targeting people who might not even be into tech.
Could
Because
be.
anybody owns a cell phone. So
Could be. Well, I can just tell you about the feeling that I personally got for this in Germany. It's not going to fly, not at all. So probably I could wear this in my circle of friends who know me, and they would ask, "Hey, what is this?" Okay, yeah, it's a new gadget. I can take videos. Haha. But as soon as others who are not my friends and who don't know me would see me with this in the German public, yeah, they would not want to see me wear this and not be sure, do I take a video of them right now or not? They would feel uncomfortable, and they would not allow me to go into a club with this, or I don't know, to go to the beach with this. Yeah, or something like this in Germany, or probably in whole Europe. So I'm pretty sure that this product cannot fly in Germany, at least. But you're more aware of things. How are things in the US, Skeeva? People don't care about this? How was it with the glass hole? It was different. People didn't like it as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, people since that whole thing, I think people have been more and more desensitized towards their own privacy and just going, well, it's just not a thing anymore. So I'm just going to be used to it and be done with it. So,
I'd hate that.
yeah, I mean, I almost envy, you living in a country that wants to protect your rights and
Yeah,
your
right.
values and what it is that makes you you. I mean, I
Right.
think that's great for a government to actually care like that. Now they don't. I don't know. I personally, if I was talking to someone and they were wearing those glasses, I'd be like, yo, take those off and I'll talk to you. But at the same
Agreed.
time, I think they specifically made these to look like Ray-Bans and to make them really not obvious that there's cameras in there to begin with. I mean, you're never looking at someone's glasses to see if they're wearing little cameras in there, right? So I
Right.
feel like right
But you
off
can,
the bat,
they are,
That's just not a thing.
but they are kind of obvious. I mean, right?
they look
Wouldn't-
like just normal
They're
design.
not.
It looks
Actually,
like a
they
little
are not.
design.
Okay, the design, you're right.
Yeah,
But
it
here you
doesn't
do
look
see
like
those.
the camera to me.
Okay.
Yep.
If you, you're right.
So-
If you don't, yeah, you're right. If you don't,
Sneaky.
if we will know that, but the normal people, they will have no idea. I agree with you.
I've seen a lot of glasses that have little designs like that with little circles in the corners, and I feel like these are right off the bat designed to be deceiving. And like you said, they didn't even include a red LED to let you know that it's recording. It's white. This has deceit written all over it. And
You're right. Really, this
me-
is really so obvious, right? Deceit, the deceit white.
yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how other people are really going to think about this, but
Well, I'll
I'm
have
not
to
a
But
fan.
find out
really,
and
Gary,
tell you.
is it like this? Why not red? Gary,
No,
tell me.
I agree.
Style.
I didn't-
Style.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Go on, Tetiana. Yeah, I don't know anything about style anyway. So, but yeah, I think you're right. It's got to be.
I mean-
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. You keep going. I get
No,
like
I've not because I didn't even know it was. I didn't pay attention. I did see on the video that it was white, but that didn't even click register with me. I didn't.
That
it
is
didn't
why
make a point.
MRTV exists, to tell the people about
Exactly.
this detail.
Yes.
I mean, they could justify it by just saying red looks aggressive, draws too much attention,
Yeah,
doesn't
it
go
should,
with
right?
their
You're
weight.
being recorded here. It should draw attention.
I agree.
I agree. But I also think, I mean, that's such a simple thing to change, but I don't think they will.
No, that's because it's made to deceive people.
Yeah.
No,
it's
really,
not-
really,
It's-
it is
is.
really made for that.
Yeah. It's not like a small company that you can give their feedback and they change it in the next update or something. Like, I think it's going to stay that way. I don't think that they will change it. So yeah, that's not good news. I'm
No.
also not. I just found out. I'm not excited about that either. But it's such a small thing. Some might think like it's not important, but it is. Yeah.
Tatiana,
it makes
you can
things
tell
much
people
different.
in your video. You're going to buy them. You're going to make a video. You can tell
I
them
will.
about this, right?
I
Tell
will
them,
make
please.
a video. There will
Please
be
tell them.
unboxing. That I definitely will test it. But I mean, there will be unboxing. I will be testing it. I will use it, but I already know I'm not going to be using it constantly.
Yeah.
Like, this is not the product I want or need, but I do want to test it out and see what it's like, because I have never tried anything like that before. Like, I've never
Yeah.
tried even like simple AR, previous versions of like AR glasses and stuff. So this is something
But the
I'm
thing
going
is
for.
that this having a white LED when it's filming, that's even an advantage to the people who want to take those secret videos, right? So that's even like an advertisement for them.
Well, if they really want to, they, like you said, they can go in and disable them somehow.
Yeah,
I'm
they
sure
will.
they'll find a way.
Yeah, just use a black marker and paint over it. It's already going to do the trick.
Yeah, black.
Oh
light.
yeah, that's gonna be bad.
Wouldn't it be nicer, like, if at least like the whole like glass thing like lit up somehow? Like, if it was just, even if it's just one dot and it's red, it's just one tiny little dot, and you're recording. You're like violating someone's privacy.
Oh,
at
we're
this
going to see
moment.
lots of interesting videos coming out of this, and I'm sure this is not going to be great advertisement for AR. I really believe that this is going to do a disservice to AR. That this is going to hurt the reputation. We will see creepy videos come out of this, and as much Facebook says, "Oh, we don't want this," it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So that sucks.
If we can
This
see
isn't a
it, we can
product for the
see it.
people. I don't think this is a product for Facebook to collect data. This has to connect to your smartphone for a reason. Like it needs to send the data through there. It needs to tell, it needs to link up what you're doing with where you were and who you were with. I mean, this is a product for Facebook. This has way more advantage to them as a company than it does to us as consumers, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Just one final point, just to go back. The announcement, when they had that video, I don't know if everybody watched that video with Mark Zuckerberg and the guy from Ray-Ban, but when it's an odd thing, I think that announcement was odd, because this is how they are presenting this device to a mainstream audience. This is a pair of glasses that has this functionality.
Perf glasses?
Sorry?
Perf glasses?
Pair of glasses, sorry. Pair of glasses.
Yeah, but perf glasses, yeah, that's good. That's like
pair of glasses.
Perf glasses.
But they have this functionality. But then he's talking. It's almost like he's making excuses for this announcement, because don't worry about how unfunctional these glasses are, because we've got AR in the works. And he mentioned AR at several points in that presentation, and that was just really odd to me. That's not a normal announcement. You don't generally talk about future products to justify the one that you're announcing at that moment in time. It was just interesting. I just wanted to bring that up, really.
Right. Wow, interesting, really interesting. And yeah, I can't wait to see how it's going to turn out. Also on YouTube, is this going to be hyped as well? Just as a Quest 2?
Well, I'm not
We'll
being
see.
sponsored by Facebook or Ray-Ban.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to your video. Really, I'm really looking forward to it, because I know that you just bought it by yourself, and you're going to give us your honest opinions, obviously.
When do you get them, Tetiana? When do you get the glasses?
I will get them next week, right before the next Dimension podcast.
The next Dimension
Sorry.
podcast.
Next Square, and I might give my first impressions if I get the time to, because I do want to do a simple unboxing video as well. So I will try to get my first impressions exclusively.
Wow.
The Next Dimension podcast.
Wow, that would be amazing. And well, I think it's a perfect time now to end today's episode. We are already 2 hours and 25 minutes. Oh my goodness. Yeah, but it has been so great to talk with all of you, to catch up with Skeeva and Tetiana and Gary, and talk about these exciting topics. And I can't wait for next week, Tetiana. I can't wait to hear about your first impressions.
I'll be there.
Of the pair of perf glasses. The pair of glasses.
Pair of perf glasses.
The pair of perf glasses from
and
Facebook.
That's the thumbnail right there.
Yeah, exactly. Great. Yeah, so thank you everyone for watching Season 2, Episode 7 of the Next Dimension podcast. Again, thanks to Skeeva to be part of this.
Thanks
so much.
It was
amazing to catch up with you. And
I love the show, and it's super awesome to be here. I'm a big fan of everyone on the show, like I said before, and I'm just stoked to be here. And I feel like I couldn't believe it when you said it was 2.5 hours. I was like, oh, what have we been going 10 minutes now?
Yeah, exactly. It's always the same. If you are talking about a topic with nice people about the topic that you care about, obviously we all do. Wow, time goes so fast. Yeah, for all of you out there who enjoy this podcast, probably you do, give it a thumbs up. And if you have not yet given it a review, wow, that would be so amazing if you could now, give us 2 minutes of your time. Get out your iPad or iPhone, open the podcast app, find the Next Dimension podcast, and give us a review. That would be really the best way to say thank you to us, to say thank you that we actually talk about also controversial topics, like, the privacy things, right? Without being sponsored by Facebook or any other company. If you enjoy that, absolutely do give us that 5-star review. That would be the absolute best way to thank us for that. Other than that, we're looking forward to see and hear you in the next episode next week. Until then, bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Yes, that's it. We're still live. A little cool down. And yeah, so great. Fantastic episode. And a bit longer than normally.
I'm
Sorry for
so
that.
I'm so glad we had all these topics because they are big. Like I remember
Yeah,
times that sometimes we just don't have interesting news coming up and
Yeah.
you're
we
right.
talk. This was amazing. Yeah, I loved discussing all of this with you guys. So many different ideas and I've learned some things myself from you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
right? Like, as in, like, white LEDs instead of red.
As in that.
Right. And thank you. Really, exactly. And also thanks to all the people who watched this.
Yeah.
Leroy Dörenberg, Sampler19, Douglas K, Shoujo, D160VR, Sean B, who says perf glasses. Thanks all. Great show. Yeah. So, yeah, if you enjoyed it, simply do write us a comment. And then that would be great. Good skeeving. Skeeving.
You're a
I
verb.
love it.
You are a
Thanks,
verb.
Skeeva.
You've made it to verb status, Skeeva.
Yes.
You verbed you.
That's great. Right. And
Amazing.
Sean B, perf glasses. Interesting. Yeah, I would.
Also-
Yeah.
Yeah, you know that my jellyfish is becoming accepted by your community because nobody
Right.
asked me if they were
You're
real
right.
yet.
Exactly. Nobody said like, "Oh, Tetiana, how can you have these things there in the back?" Yeah, exactly. Really cool. Yeah. So thanks everyone for watching. Please do leave us a comment. Do tell us what you think about the pair of glasses, right? The Ray-Ban stories, and looking forward to find out what you think of this. And no, the jellyfishes are not real. Exactly. Okay, Lars has missed it. Has it been a good show? No. It has been a great show. One of the best and with really important topics. So please watch it again. All right. I don't want to take any more of your time out there. Let's end this now. And we're looking forward to see everyone next week when we hear about Tetiana's first impressions of the Ray-Ban stories. Until then, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.